video that I have wanted to make for a long time, and that has to do with this. All that right there. You see that? Blu-ray collection video. You know, there's never really a good time to do something like this because the collection's always building, always adding more pieces, but at a certain point, you know, if you're waiting forever, you're never going to get it done. So I got a couple new things in, so I figured let's just do it now. I've had Blu-rays and stuff for years, ever since they started coming out, but I only really started collecting them in 2020. After, you know, kind of COVID hit, I started watching more movies, and then I was interested in owning them. This is the result of about 5 years of collecting, and this is not even all of it that you see back there. I'll get into the different breakdown of what I have and what I'll be showing, which I'm going to be showing everything. So probably right here, I'll put a kind of a timestamp of the things I'll be covering. So I'll be going over all the movies I have, and then we'll be going over the TV shows I have. And then I will be covering specifically Sonic stuff that I have, like the movies and stuff. Star Wars, which is its own thing as well. And then DC, which there's a lot of DC stuff, which is not even back there. It is over there on its off screen on its own shelf that you can't see, but there's a lot. And anime. There's going to be an anime one as well. So all those sections will be, you know, separated out. So that being said, this is going to be a long video. So if you plan on watching this in one go, thank you. Please get some popcorn or something, and then also you can choose to watch this in sections, or feel free to just skip to the section that you care about. If you only want to see the Star Wars stuff, go ahead and check out the Star Wars stuff. Hope you enjoy, you learn something, and you know, whenever I watch videos like this, I always think it's cool when people talk about movies that either I never heard of and they sound interesting to me, or they have a story associated with a movie that I like that I just never heard before. So without any more delay, let's get started with the movies. Okay, so you'll kind of be able to follow along with our progress here by looking at the shelf. You can see I pulled off the first section there, and we're going to go section by section and do that. I have the whole stack right here, a little bit off screen, but I just realized I have no idea where I'm going to be putting these after I go through them. For most of them, I'm going to go through it as quickly as possible. I'll just show it and then move on, but some of them I'll have a story or something to do. So these are alphabetical, by the way. So first up, I do collections. So this is like I guess it's a epic. I forget what these are called, time period epics or something like that. So you got 300, Rise of an Empire, and Troy. When I bought this, I hadn't actually seen any of these movies, and since then I've watched them all. I really like Troy. That's probably my favorite here. And 300 I think is good too. The 300 sequel's alright, but you know, I could honestly take it or leave it. Next we have a Argo and The Town. This is kind of like a Ben Affleck a double feature. I really like The Town, and I like Argo too, but I mostly got that for The Town. We have Body of Lies and Three Kings. I am not huge on Three Kings. I've only seen it once, didn't really care for it. I'll probably need to watch it again. And same thing with Body of Lies. I actually like Body of Lies, but I've only seen it once. So that both of those are due for a rewatch. This one I got last year. I call this the Kevin Smith triple feature. Before I bought this, I'd never seen Clerks, and I'd never seen Chasing Amy. I liked both of those movies. I had seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is originally why I was looking for it on Blu-ray. Then I saw they had this, and I'm like, all right, why not? We have a Nicolas Cage double feature of Face Off and Snake Eyes. I have seen Face Off. I haven't watched my copy of Face Off yet because I actually found this at like a Rite Aid or something, like a couple days after I watched Face Off for the first time, and I liked Face Off, so I saw this and I got it. So I watched Snake Eyes from here because I hadn't seen Snake Eyes yet, and I thought that was also good. Not as good as Face Off though. We have the American Frontier Collection. I forget the name of the dude who does these, but basically this was $15 at Target. I already owned Sicario, but I went with this because I like Sicario. I think it's pretty overrated, honestly, but I do like it. Wind River is one of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen. I actually have not watched my version of it yet, and I'll put it off forever if I have to. That movie's insane. And then Hell or High Water is actually my favorite out of these. Very rewatchable, very fun. I think they call it an American frontier film. I would call it a modern Western, I guess. Here is kind of a little box set thing of a Wes Anderson 2-pack of Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox. When I bought this, I had not seen Isle of Dogs before. I think this was $9, so this was like a really good deal. But it actually comes with both movies in there kind of individually, which is not my preferred way because I really like these box sets to save space on my shelf. You know, put 2 movies into one case, kind of like those other double features and triple features do. But either way, originally, of course, I was looking for Fantastic Mr. Fox on Blu-ray, and the only way I could get it was with the 2-pack. I do like Isle of Dogs, but Fantastic Mr. Fox will always be my favorite. I think that's my favorite Wes Anderson still. It's either that or Grand Budapest Hotel, which we'll get to. Here we go. So now we're on to the solo movies number-wise. 5, 25, 77. This was a very interesting movie when I first watched it. And honestly, I would recommend this movie to 2 people. If you're either a huge Star Wars fan and just like to be reminded of, you know, the good times, especially if you were not around then, I guess it wouldn't be reminding you, but you know, it's just a cool story in that aspect. And the other people are people who like filmmaking or want to be a director or something like that. This is really cool in that regard. Getting to see someone who aspires to be a film director and gets inspired by big blockbusters like that. 13 Hours is a pretty good action movie. Would recommend that one. 21 and 22 Jump Street. Gotta have them. 500 Days of Summer. That is... I don't know if I own any other Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies. That might be the only one, but that's a good one. I saw that one originally in film class, I believe, back in high school, and I've watched it a couple times since. And I was never huge on it, but like since the last time I watched it, I've really come to appreciate it. You kind of have to go in it with the correct attitude, I guess. Correct mindset. 1917, this is my first 4K, I believe. You'll notice that there are Blu-rays and 4Ks mixed in. No DVDs. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 that we'll get to later that I have an exception for. But typically I only do Blu-rays and 4Ks. And I just mix the 4Ks in with the Blu-rays. I'm not going to separate them. This one in particular, I like this movie. I've been trying to get this movie for years. It took me like 2 years to get this movie on 4K. Every time I would order it, like particularly from Amazon, it would show up beat up, like cases damaged or whatever. So I kept having to return it. But eventually I did get a pretty good copy. A Few Good Men. In terms of acting, I think this is Tom Cruise's best movie. And I really enjoy this. Did I need the 4K? Maybe not, but it's a good 4K. Stars Born, very, very good Bradley Cooper. If you follow Bradley Cooper, you know most recently he definitely tried to Oscar bait with Maestro, and he's had some good movies before, which is kind of tough because his Oscar movies have already happened, I would say. So the fact that, you know, he's still trying to get it, but he feels like he has to try now, like go out of his way to get it. It's kind of a bummer. About Time, pretty... I think this is a lesser known kind of romance type thing, but it's also got a little supernatural element to it. So I would check this out. Is that Rachel? Is that McChicken? McAdams? Yeah, her. She's in it. She doesn't age. Like you compare this, which I think was like 2016 or something, to Wedding Crashers 2005. She looks the exact same. The Accountant, new one just came out. Haven't seen it yet. When I bought that, I actually hadn't seen it before, so I bought it for like $5 or $6 from Target, and I liked it. So I'm curious to watch the new one. Ad Astra, again, I hadn't seen this when I bought it, but it was like $7 or $8 on a Black Friday sale, and I was like, Brad Pitt, sci-fi. Okay, I could give that a try, and I did end up liking it. Adventureland, I guess this is like an underrated Jesse Eisenberg movie. He actually does not have a lot of movies. If you really think about it, he does not have a lot, but most of them are good, and this is a underrated one I would check out. Ryan Reynolds is also in it, and I guess it's from the people who made, from the director of Superbad, which take from that as you will. After the Sunset is a Pierce Brosnan movie, which is, it's fun. Woody Harrelson's in it, pretty fun. Just kind of like a little, I guess it's like a spy heist romance type thing. It's just fun. It's one of those movies where they film it in an exotic location. So while you're watching the movie, you kind of get to escape to that exotic location with them for a little while. Air here with a nice slipcover. And this is one of my favorite movies of 22. I believe it came out in 22, 23. I don't know. Whenever it came out, this was one of my favorite movies of it. We have Aladdin here, Blu-ray. So I actually do not own that many Disney. Well, you could be the judge of that. But most of these I got within the last year. And in fact, I got them for free. Now, what would happen is if you get... This doesn't exist anymore, which is a bummer. But for the last couple of years, you could take these Disney movies that have digital code in it right there. You take the digital code, you take it to this site called Disney Movie Rewards. You would enter the code, they would give you points, and you could redeem the points to get like free movies. They would send you free Blu-rays, and they would have, most of them actually came with slipcovers, and they would be pretty good condition. So out of all the companies to do that, I'm shocked Disney was the one that was giving out free movies, but I guess they also believed it was too good to be true because they no longer do it. But anyway, free Aladdin. I would take a free Aladdin. I like Aladdin. And then we have the Amazing Spider-Man collection with Andrew Garfield, and I really liked the first one. I didn't care too much for the second one the first time I saw it, and then I saw it again and I liked it more. So these big tall stacks are kind of making me nervous. They're still going to be more or less in alphabetical order. I'm just going to do it like a little backwards because it goes alphabetical from left to right on my bookcase. But the way I'm going to do each shelf is right to left, just so when I put them back, they're already in order and makes it a little bit easier. So we have Bullet Train here and Bridge of Spies. This is I would call this an underrated Spielberg. I mean, you wouldn't think so because it's a Tom Hanks Spielberg, but honestly, like, whenever people talk about Spielberg, that one doesn't seem to come up a lot, which makes all the sense in the world if you know his discography. But Booksmart, which I enjoy this, and I probably wouldn't own this if not for Caitlin Dever, which is a younger, underrated actress, I think. She does, I don't know. It's cool. Boiler Room. This movie's fun. I was getting into a lot of, after I watched Wolf of Wall Street, I was getting into a lot of like stockbroker type of movies, and this was one. I actually enjoyed that. That took me a while to find. Bohemian Rhapsody, another one I got for free from Disney. Blood Diamond, good DiCaprio. And that other dude, what is his name? Jaeman Hyun-soo. However you say his name, the guy on the right there, he's good. Blade Runner 2-pack. I actually have not seen. Well, I have seen both of these. I haven't watched my discs yet, so I need to take a note of that. I like to watch all of my discs at least once, just because one, it kind of defeats the purpose to buy it and not watch it, and then two, I want to know that they actually work, because sometimes they don't work. I just watched my For Your Eyes Only from my Bond, and it didn't work, so I had to replace that. Black Panther here, again, free. Look at this thing. Like, you know, and Disney movies are expensive. Like, compared to everything else, if you wanted this as a Blu-ray, it probably would have been at least $13, which is above average pricing. But this is like a shiny slipcover thingy, and it was free. Whatever, I'll take it. Birdman, the movie that beat Whiplash for Best Picture, that I disagree with, but I still like Birdman. Edward Norton's really fun to watch in that. Big Lebowski, I actually hadn't seen this until like a couple of years ago, and I enjoyed it. I think this is my first Steelbook. Better Off Dead, John Cusack. probably the most underrated comedy I can recommend, especially from the 80s. If you like 80s comedies, you're going to want to watch this. This movie is criminally underrated. This is awesome. I cannot believe a Steelbook even exists for this thing, but the fact that it does, I made sure to get it. It is just a Blu-ray. Typically, Steelbooks nowadays are 4K exclusives, so that was a little surprising. But definitely find that if you can. Before we go is an underrated Chris Evans movie, and Alice Eve. She's only been in a handful of movies. I have 2, I believe, and I like them both. She's just good. Chris Evans is good. This is a good little thing. Watch it. Here is the Back to the Future 4K trilogy box set. I have a few things like this, and these are cool. I like having these in the collection because they stand out when you look at the shelf. Otherwise, it's just kind of the same thing, a blue case over and over. Having something like this really just kind of does cool stuff. It's not exactly a media book, but it does the thing that I kind of don't like, where you have these little paper inserts where the discs go in. But you know, it's cool. It's cool book thingy. So I would recommend this. You can actually find this for pretty cheap. I believe I got mine for $25, which, if you consider, I value a single 4K to be around $10. So if you divide it, it's less than $10 per movie because it comes with all 3, and then you get the cool case kind of thing for it. So to me, that's a good deal. Have Baby Driver, good Edgar Wright movie. I think my favorite Edgar Wright movie. Here's the Avengers 4K collection, which is cool. I don't know. I enjoy the Avengers movies. Endgame's probably my least favorite, which a lot of people can be like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I like them. I own them. Don't bother me. Ant-Man 2 movie collection. Don't really care to own the third one, so I'm okay with the 2. Anthropoid. Another movie that I hadn't seen when I bought it, but I really like Cillian Murphy, and yes, I liked him before Oppenheimer. I always thought that he was due. He was one of those actors who was always getting like a supporting role in films, especially Nolan films, and I was like, when is this guy going to get his own? He did, and look what happened. He won Best Picture. But yeah, I checked this out. It's a World War II kind of like assassination story based on a true story. I always like movies like that, so decided to check that one out and ended up liking it. Angel Has Fallen. This is the 3rd of the trilogy. I own all 3. I guess these could be considered guilty pleasures. Like, they're not amazing, but I mean, I think they're good. I think they're well done. And then they're just Gerard Butler action movies. So, you know, take from that as you will. American Sniper. I need to rewatch this, actually. I've only seen it once. Again, another one I bought. It was like $5 at like a CVS or something. You never know where you're going to find actually good movies for pretty cheap. You kind of got to look out. Less so now. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. American Psycho. Got to return some videotapes. Classic. Ambulance. I actually bought this last Black Friday on like a combo deal. You buy like 3 Blu-rays for $18 or whatever. When I bought this, I was like, well, you know, why did I get that? I technically liked the movie when I saw it, but do I care to own it? And then I watched it, you know, like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, no, that's fun. That's a good one. I don't know. Like, it's got that LA chaos thing that I kind of like, that Heat has, and some other movies. So that I'll hold on to that one. And then I actually just watched this yesterday, Arrival Steelbook. This was like $6 from Target. So Target has this deal sometimes. I'm going to do a video about how to like start your collection, build your collection, you know, where to look for deals and stuff like that. But Target does this thing where you can buy 3 movies for the price of 2, more or less. And what it'll do is it'll just kind of slash every price of the movie. So this was more like $9, but then it came down to like $6 or something like that. for like a Blu-ray Steelbook. I don't know. It's like, I'll take that every time. Okay, so normally this would be the part where you can call me a filthy casual for what I'm about to show you. But I have two, points to the contrary. So this is the Fast and the Furious 4K Steelbook. So first of all, the fact that it's a Steelbook, I think I should get some points for. Secondly, I only own this one and then the one immediately after this. I don't go up to 10 or whatever they're at. I only enjoy really the first two, so... And I only watched through 5. After 5, I was like, dude, I can't do that anymore. But this is pretty cool. I got this for like $10. I think it was the last thing I ever bought from Best Buy before they stopped selling Blu-rays. So not bad for a final purchase there. Fanboys. This is like again, another movie for Star Wars fans, kind of like that 5/25/77, whatever that movie. I would check this out. Another Jay Baruchel, also underrated actor in my opinion. Fall Guy came out recently. Got this last Black Friday. Came with the slipcover. Watched it recently again. Enjoyable. Really cool how they kind of it's appreciative of the stunt teams in movies, which I think goes underappreciated. Fabelmans, a Spielberg that I actually enjoyed. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this. When it got nominated for Best Picture and I hadn't seen it, I'm like, well, of course it got nominated as Spielberg. But then you watch it and you can kind of see why, especially compared to everything else that came out that year. Ex Machina, another one I hadn't seen when I bought it, and I do like it. It was like a $9 4K from Black Friday, so Black Friday is kind of the time to load up. Here we go. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think this is the most I've ever spent on a Blu-ray specifically. I'm sure that's factually incorrect at some point, but I can't prove it. I bought this on a Black Friday for $15, like right when it came out. That's because I hadn't seen the movie. I heard it was like the best movie of the year, and I really wanted to check it out. So this taught me a lesson. 1 week later, it went on streaming on Showtime at the time, which I had, so I could have waited a week if I really wanted to watch it. I didn't have to buy it. And then like a month later, it was down to like $10 on sale. So be patient when you buy stuff. But overall, I do like this movie. But would I ever spend $15 for it? No. But I did. Edge of Tomorrow, or whatever the heck this movie's called, I guess that's like the ongoing joke is this movie's title keeps changing. Really good sci-fi, really good Tom Cruise movie, really fun. And this was like $5 again from like Target or whatever. So if you see movies like that for $5, just pick them up. You're really not gonna do better than $5. I've only ever done better than $5 like twice, so it doesn't happen. Dunkirk 4K. I like this movie. I owned the Blu-ray before, and then a sale happened, and I just upgraded it to a 4K because I don't know. I'm kind of on a collect all Nolan on 4K thing right now, so that's okay. Drive, very good Ryan Gosling movie. He has so much range and just talent overall. If you've never seen Drive, you need to watch Drive. Dredd. I actually know almost nothing about Judge Dredd. I watched this movie because it was recommended to me by like some other YouTuber I watched, and he's like, "Oh, Dredd's a really good, technically comic book movie, I guess." And it is. It's fun. It's if you ever seen The Raid, it's kind of like that. And he's going through like floor to floor, being like a shoot first, ask questions later, super cop type of thing. I don't know. It's just fun, dumb action, but it's done well. Pretty cool. I waited a while. I almost bought that on Blu-ray, but I kind of held out for the 4K just because. I have a couple Arrow Video. So if you know what that is, it's kind of like a limited distributor, I guess, of certain. They're typically for like cult classic films. So Donnie Darko here, a very early Jake Gyllenhaal, one of the first. I guess it's technically a horror. I'm not big on horror movies, but if this counts, this is like one of the first ones I really liked. So I own this Blu-ray on Arrow Video. And we get Dodgeball here. I actually got this in an eBay lot with Fanboys, because I was looking for Fanboys. It came with this and like Wedding Crashers. This was sealed still, so this is technically brand new. This is enjoyable. You know, Vince Vaughn without Owen Wilson is probably not as great, I would argue. Dodgeball is probably the best you're going to do, and then it also helps Ben Stiller's pretty good in that. Django Unchained, I think this is another $5 one from Target. Good Tarantino. Die Hard. This was like $6 from Best Buy. The only thing I can say about this is that when I ordered this, I was supposed to be getting like the Christmas exclusive variant, and they sent me this, which was disappointing, but I ultimately didn't complain just because it was so cheap. So, and I only own the first Die Hard. I guess if I were to own another one, I kind of wish I got the whole collection, because I do like the second one, and then the third one's good, but the one to own is the first one. So The Departed, really good DiCaprio. When we do the Oscar video for this year in particular, I'll have a lot to say about this versus Blood Diamond and kind of how they treated DiCaprio that year. Very interesting conversation, but this is probably definitely one of my favorite DiCaprios, one of my favorite Scorsese's overall. Den of Thieves, another Gerard Butler action heist movie. Well, I guess the other ones weren't heist movies, but another good action movie. And another more LA chaos, you know, there's like full on, military-esque shootouts in the streets of LA. It's like, just awesome. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, another Jake Gyllenhaal. This one's really interesting. I like war movies that portray an element of conflict that most people are ignorant of, and that's what this does. And I thought that was extremely fascinating, and the fact that it's fairly recent, was also cool. And the other dude, Dar Salim, he's really good in it. So the fact when you have someone like Jake Gyllenhaal or DiCaprio in a movie, and then the other dude is like kind of the highlight, that's always cool to me. Collateral, just watched this a couple days ago. Liked it more the second time. Michael Mann, again, another LA kind of crazy movie. So I like those types of things. But Tom Cruise is a bad guy. Kind of like it. You don't really see him in this movie. I think the first time I watched this, all I saw was Tom Cruise, but I really kind of paid more attention this time, and his character is just really interesting, and so is Jamie Foxx does a really good job. So Catch Me If You Can, this one's interesting because if you look closely, it's actually the European version of this, which, if you know, that typically means it should not play I'm in California, so it shouldn't play here. Blu-rays are traditionally region locked. For some reason, this one does play. It works. We've tried it in like 2 different players, and it still plays. So, knock on wood. But if it works, it works. And the only reason that's the only European Blu-ray I have, and the only reason I do have it at all is because when I think I asked for it for my birthday or something, and the American Blu-ray was either out of stock or they weren't producing it at the time. So the only option was European. So thank goodness it worked. And then 1 month later they restocked the American version, so whatever. Captain Phillips, this is another pretty cheap one I got. Another one kind of like Ambulance, where it's like after I bought it, it's like, I really need to own that, and then I watch it and it's like, yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know. Captain America Civil War, or Avengers 2.5, I call it. One of my favorite Marvel movies. I do not own a whole lot of Marvel movies, but some of the earlier ones I enjoy. Like I bought the Thor 3-pack and I watched those. That was pretty fun. It's kind of fun to just buy 3-packs of stuff and then just watch like one a week or whatever for 3 weeks. It's cool. But this is one of my favorite Marvel movies. And then we have Cars 3 here, which out of the Disney movies is one I did buy. I think this was like $9 or something like that. It's fairly cheap. I like Cars 3. It's not great, but obviously I like it enough to own it. And then we have Cars 1 here. I do not own Cars 2. I do not want to own Cars 2. This one was free. This is a free one from the Disney Club. As you can see there, it says it's a club exclusive, actually. and the slipcover is exclusive. I can't believe they did that. I don't know, like Disney free stuff. I don't believe it. I just dumped like a handful of these, so I'm gonna assume that they're still in order ish. Whatever. Happy Gilmore, I think the only Adam Sandler I do own, and it is my favorite Adam Sandler. This is cool. The Halo Complete Collection. It comes with the Forward Unto Dawn movie, the Nightfall movie, Halo Legends, and then the Fall of Reach movie, which, if you know any of those, Forward Unto Dawn is really good, and Halo Legends is really good. Other two, not so much. And this was before the Halo TV show. So, I think it's just cool that this thing exists, period, because I'm a huge Halo fan, so having this just exist is just cool. So that was a fun one to get. I think that was like for my birthday one year or something. Hacksaw Ridge, this was another one that was like $5 at Target. I have seen that one on 4K for like $8 a lot. So if you were building your collection, you like that movie, I would go with the 4K. I have not bothered upgrading it because I think it's fine at Blu-ray, so that's up to you. Greatest Showman 4K. This is another one that took me a long time to find for a good price and in good condition. Amazon is terrible with their quality. Like, it's like 50% chance when you get it if it's going to be cracked or beat up or whatever. Gravity. One of the few sci-fi I actually own on Blu-ray, because first of all, I don't think this exists in 4K last I looked, and secondly, I do like to own most sci-fi movies like this in 4K, just because I think the visuals are really cool, and I would like the option to see them in 4K if I'm able. Grand Budapest Hotel, the other Wes Anderson that I talked about, very good. Gran Torino, I think this is the only Clint Eastwood I own, and that one's pretty good. I really like the song that plays at the end, the Gran Torino song, which was not nominated for, was it nominated for original song? I don't know, I don't think it won, but I'm gonna fight that. When I can do that year, I'm gonna fight for that song. That's a good song. Goodfellas, kind of a essential Scorsese, good Scorsese. Good Will Hunting. Is this my favorite Matt Damon movie? It might be my favorite Matt Damon movie. I'd have to double check. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else, so it's probably this. I love movies like that. Not necessarily, well, obviously the movie itself, yes, but the story behind it. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, getting someone like Robin Williams to do their first movie more or less with them, and then they end up winning. I think, did they win Best Picture? I don't remember if they won Best Picture or not, but they won for writing, I think it was. It's just a cool story. Gone Girl, Ben Affleck and Fincher. This one is pretty crazy. I like Fincher movies. It's the director, if you didn't know. Godzilla, another 4K that took me forever to find, but I eventually did. This is the 2014 Gareth Edwards one, which I think kind of gets a little more hate than it deserves. I understand the criticisms where you're here to watch Godzilla, and the way it's shot kind of takes away from that every time. Like, you want to watch Godzilla do Godzilla things, sure. But I think what they do, especially compared to the other ones that come after, the human element of this one is by far the best I think they've ever done. Watching the soldiers do their thing, they do the halo jump, the atmosphere it sets up, it really gets that end of the world type thing. And I believe it takes place in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. So I am local-ish for San Francisco, so I always like San Francisco movies. Bonus points. Gifted is kind of like Better Off Dead, but for a different genre. One of the most underrated movies in my collection. Watch this movie if you get a chance. Chris Evans is really good here, and so is the girl. I think it's McKenna Grace. I don't know. I just watched this movie, and then the second I was done, I wanted to own it, and it's amazing. So find Gifted, watch Gifted. The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie again. This one's pretty good. The only story I have for that one is I watched it a few years ago, and then immediately after I watched it, it was like a New Year's sale, and I could have gotten it for $5 or whatever, and I didn't buy it only because I just watched it. I'm like, I can wait on it. Well, it took me like 3 years until it went on sale for anywhere close to that price again. So if you want my advice, if you see it for a good price, I don't care if you're watching it currently, you buy it. Game Night. I've heard people call this one of the last good comedies, I guess. 2019, I believe. McChicken again, Jason Bateman. Bonus points for having Third Eye Blind on the soundtrack. And I would love to know, actually, behind the scenes for that, because the scene that song is in, they're in the bar, and Rachel McAdams is singing along to the song. So it comes off to me, not just that like whoever picked the songs for that, which what's his name also wrote the movie, John Francis Daley, who's also really cool. But basically, the fact that Rachel McAdams is singing that song makes me feel like she picked the song for that scene. I don't know. I would just like to know behind the scenes for that, because she's like really into it. So I was like, is that one of her favorite songs, and did she pick it? Fury, another World War II movie with Brad Pitt. It's good. I like it. David Ayer, I think he did Suicide Squad or something. It's something else. I don't know. He kind of pops up every once in a while. I got that for like $10 on a Black Friday. I like it. Not top World War II, not top Brad Pitt, but pretty solid in both categories. Furiosa, got this last Black Friday, I believe. Some kind of deal. I enjoy this, and I was pretty bummed it didn't get any Oscar nominees. I watched this in anticipation for the Oscars, ended up actually liking it more so than Dune Part 2 or anything else. So, one of my favorite movies from last year. Free Guy, another one that's pretty enjoyable, particularly for someone who likes video games and can appreciate video game stuff. There's a couple Halo references in here. Ryan Reynolds is always just fun and entertaining, so you can't really go wrong with his stuff. Ford v Ferrari, as of recently, this is very expensive to get. I don't know why. I have seen it for cheap, so again, if you find a good deal, take the good deal. In terms of Matt Damon, this Good Will Hunting is still better than this. I think this is a better movie than Good Will Hunting. This is a top Christian Bale movie, but how do you find me a bottom Christian Bale movie? Like, that's just not a thing. Probably my favorite of that year. I'd have to double check, but Footloose. So if you look very closely with this specific copy of Footloose, you'll notice there is not a Blu-ray logo to be found anywhere. Right there on the spine, it says the word Blu-ray disc. If you look on the back, again, it says Blu-ray disc. On the disc itself, it says Blu-ray disc. And then if you flip it over, check this out. The disc is black. So, for anyone who knows what all of that means, it's basically saying this is a bootleg. But I bought this from Best Buy and Amazon, and I got the same copy both times. So when I first bought it, I was like, oh, that's fake for sure. And it probably still is fake. But the fact that a real retailer says it gives me some hope that it's somehow legit. A 4K does exist of it now, so eventually I'll upgrade, but I just think that's funny. It's like, I'm pretty sure I own a bootleg Footloose. It works just fine. The main menu's a little weird too, but it plays. So Nemo 4K, pretty cool. I don't know why this one in particular. I have some other Toy Story ones in 4K. They don't come with a slipcover. This one does. Don't know why. But Nemo is one of my top Pixar movies. Kind of, if you count Pixar, I guess you kind of have to. When you count Disney Pixar stuff, that's one of the few I own. Fight Club, one of the first movies I actually bought to build my collection. And again, it was pretty cheap. And it's another Fincher. I don't remember if I had seen it when I bought it. I think me watching this was the first time for me watching it, if I'm not mistaken. But I do really like it. It's a top Fincher. It's not my favorite Fincher. It's like a top 3, I would say. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Gotta have it. I want his hockey sweater now. I never realized it, but like recently I got into hockey, and like really into hockey. And then I remembered that Cameron wears the I guess it's Gordie Howe hockey sweater, and I don't know, I just want to have the same one that Cameron had. It's just funny. Great movie though. Classic high school. And then finally the Too Fast, Too Furious, the only other Fast and Furious I own. I was holding out a little bit, hoping that this would have a steelbook that matches the other one, just so they kind of matched, but best I could do was just go with a 4K. So at least they're both 4K. Alright, so we're getting to the I's and J's now. So first we have the first Jurassic Park 4K with the slipcover. This was one of the best finds I got like 2 Black Fridays ago. It was $10, and when it showed up with a almost pristine slipcover, I was like, this is awesome. I don't know, like there's nothing better feeling, because you're so, for me anyway, I'm so used to getting stuff in the mail that's beat up, slipcover's ripped or crumpled or whatever it is. It doesn't even have a slipcover. So getting one in that good condition, just right, like you just open it, boom, perfect. It's like, that's the best feeling ever. So John Wick 4, I don't remember how much I spent for this. I think it was on the more expensive side as well. I went with the Blu-ray because I liked the way the slipcover looked versus the 4K. That's probably, I still really like John Wick 4. Probably my least favorite out of the trilogy, 4 now. And then this is one of the best deals I ever got on a Black Friday. This was $10 for the trilogy, original trilogy of John Wick, and that is an absolute steal. And I've seen this, I think, almost consistently every Black Friday since I bought this. So on Black Friday, if you like John Wick, even though there's 4 now, I would still get 1 through 3, unless you can find 1 through 4 for cheap, which I have also seen, I believe. So maybe you can go that route, but going this route is also not bad, because the 1 through 4 is, I think, 2 cases thick. So if you're worried about space, going 1 through 3 and then 4 versus 1 through 4, I don't think there's any difference how it would look on your shelf, unless you wanted it all in one collection. But then again, from the sound of it, they're doing 5, they're doing Ballerina, so eventually it would be incomplete anyway. Jerry Maguire. Oh shoot, is this better? His acting in that might be better than... Oh, I think that's better than A Few Good Men. At least his acting anyway. I think I like A Few Good Men better as a movie, but as terms of acting for Tom Cruise, I think Jerry Maguire might be better. So I have to revise my previous statement. Another amazing Black Friday find. This is a Jaws Steelbook, 45th anniversary. Pretty cool. Only the Blu-ray again. And then you'll notice for some of my favorite Steelbooks, I got this little protective case for it. I ultimately do not care to go out of my way for Steelbooks 9 out of 10 times. But for this one in particular, it was like $7.50 or something for that. And I'm like, yeah, I like Jaws enough. I'll give you $7.50 for a Steelbook. And it was actually a pretty cool Steelbook. Jack Ryan 5 film collection. This is funny because this took me months to get. I think I ordered it on a Black Friday from Amazon, and it either kept showing up beat up or the order kept getting delayed. Amazon didn't want me to own Jack Ryan. Eventually I had to order this from Target or something, and then I returned the Amazon one when it showed up to Target, so I got to keep the Amazon price or whatever it was. It was like $20 for this whole thing, which is $20 for 5 movies. Good. I had not seen any Jack Ryan movies when I got this, but between Sean Connery, Ben Affleck, Harrison Ford, Chris Pine, I'm like, how could I possibly go wrong with that? So I will say, if you're looking to build your collection, one of the funnest things you can do is when you find a good deal for like a 5-pack or a 6-pack, like I'll talk about this again with Mission Impossible or even Harry Potter, maybe Harry Potter less so if you don't care for Harry Potter, but there's like action movies with good actors in it. Just buy the collection if you find it for a good deal, if you've never seen the movies before, and then watch one a week for like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is. It's just really fun, like to go get a collection of movies you've never seen before, but you're like 90% sure you're gonna like, and then just go through and watch them. So that's a little trick I would recommend to have some fun with this, because I've done that a few times, particularly with the Jack Ryan and the Mission Impossible, and those are some of the best experiences I've had, with movies. We have both Jack Reacher films here. These were technically free, so I don't know if Target still does this, but what'll happen is if you look right there on the second one on the corner, it's like broken, it's like chipped off. So when I ordered this from Target, they came together. So the product was for technically both, but they have separate cases. Second one's broken, and I put in an order to get it replaced, basically. Or like I told them, hey, this showed up damaged. Is there any way I can replace it? Instead of sending me a replacement, they refunded the whole order, which is about $20. So, you know, it's already a good deal for two 4Ks. Refunded the whole thing, and they told me, oh, just throw them away or whatever. So obviously, I'm not going to throw them away. I kept them. So these were free. I really like the first one. The second one, I've only seen both of them once, to be fair. The second one, I do not care for. I think I've seen the first one only once. I don't know. Don't care for the second one. I'm going to rewatch both of these soon, and I'm going to decide if I want to keep the second one or not. Because it was free, I have no problem just like, trading it in or wherever. I know of this place that you can take Blu-rays and get some like credit and go buy something else. Italian Job, pretty decent heist movie with Marky Mark and Edward Norton. Iron Giant, legendary animated film. If you've never seen this, which I've talked to a couple people who have never seen this, I don't believe you, but you need to watch this. This is an absolute classic. That one kind of is a little beat up, and I don't know why I kept getting beat up. The Interview, James Franco, Seth Rogen. I've come down on Seth Rogen a bit. Him and James Franco, to me, I think are the funniest duo. I really like their stuff. I have all of their stuff, I believe. Interstellar 4K with the slipcover. Again, just like the Jurassic Park, getting this in the mail, just in mint condition, just about like one of the best things ever. But this is even better than Jurassic Park because it was $8, not $10. Probably one of the best, if not the best, Black Friday deals for movies I've ever gotten. And the fact that it's like a 3-hour movie, you're just getting that much more value for your money. Inglourious Bastards, I believe this is either my first or second favorite Tarantino now. It's between this or Pulp Fiction. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's really solid, really good Brad Pitt. And oh my God, Christoph Waltz, dude. This movie's worth owning just to rewatch that performance. Have the option to rewatch that whenever you want. That is one of the best performances I've ever seen, honestly. Indiana Jones Blu-ray 4-movie collection, which is kind of like the Back to the Future one, where it's got this little book in there. Pretty cool. It's pretty reflective. I actually own this technically as an accident. I bought this. This came with Star Wars lot that I bought, trying to get the Star Wars. I think it was the Blu-rays or the DVDs or something like that. And I guess the seller threw in like an Indiana Jones collection box set thing, which was a little beat up, but ultimately not that bad. And the whole lot was like $20. So this is an absolute steal. I really like these movies. I would have gotten this eventually anyway on my own. But the fact that they kind of just threw it in, that was really cool. So good, another good collection to buy if you're into like action adventure. You already like Indiana Jones, get the 4-pack. 5, I don't even know if a 5-pack exists, but if you some reason like the 5th one. I do like the 4th one. I know a lot of people cut it off at 3 right there, but I would take 1 through 4 over 1 through 5 any day. Incredibles, decent, very top Pixar. Inception, another 4K I was looking for a long time. I would say Nolan, another 4K Nolan. In the Heights, a very enjoyable musical to me. 2021, I believe, and that was like the year of musicals because it was that and Tick Tick Boom came out. I really wish Tick Tick Boom was not a Netflix movie. That way I could own it. But at least In the Heights exists. If you're into musicals, I would check that out. I really enjoy it. Heat on 4K. I actually owned this already on Blu-ray, but the 4K was on sale for like $8, mint condition with the slipcover, and I was like, yeah, I like it enough. I'll pay $8 and I'll upgrade to the 4K. That's my favorite Michael Mann movie. Probably my favorite heist movie. For a long time, I was being told that was the best heist movie of all time, and at first I didn't buy it. Like, I did buy it, but I didn't I didn't believe that. I was like, oh, I think I've seen better heist movies. And then I rewatched it, and it gets better every rewatch. So, Harvey, which I believe is the oldest movie that I own. I forget what year specifically. Probably definitely the oldest movie I own. And then here we have the Harry Potter 8-film collection. Now, unlike those other ones I mentioned, this I had already seen the Harry Potter movies, but it had been a long time since I'd seen the Harry Potter movies. So watching them through this collection was like watching them for the first time, just about. So you get a lot of value. I think this was like $30 or something for 8 movies. That's a really good deal. If you wanted to go 4K, you could. I was okay with the Blu-ray, especially since it's cheaper. But just having something like this on your shelf just looks cool. Just like that, to have that spine right there, it pops out, stands out, kind of breaks up all the standard Blu-ray cases. So I would recommend the Harry Potter collection. Okay, now we have Midway here. I think this was another $6 Black Friday find. I enjoy this. It's all right. Not the best. It comes off definitely more of a product more than an artistic vision, if that makes sense. Like, it's nowhere near a Saving Private Ryan in terms of World War II movies, but it does offer still some things. It immerses me in the Pacific theater. So, but something like Tora 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 is still better. But again, that was like $6. Came with a slipcover, which was really cool. And I did not understand why at the time that came with a slipcover. But as a tip, because I bought it in 2020 and I believe it's a 2019 movie, if you buy a movie like Midway, which is on the less popular side, you have about a year and it'll still arrive with a slipcover. Because I think that how it works is the first batch or so, first month of movies gets a slipcover. Everything after that, they drop the slipcover for the most part, like 9 out of 10 times. But if you buy an unpopular movie like this, typically in stock it'll still have a slipcover. So a little tip for you. Or you can take that as, if you really wanted a slipcover for a movie, make sure you get it when it comes out. Of course, that won't work for older movies, but you can use that for newer releases. The Menu, very entertaining movie with Nicholas Hoult, which first time I watched it, didn't know who that was. Second time I watched it, he plays an excellent jerk. But it's fun. The movie's just way over the top, like food critic fun. So, and I'm not even like one of those food people, so like when they're talking about this stuff, I don't know what they're talking about, but it's fun to watch them because they do make it simple enough for someone like me to enjoy it. The Matrix 4K. This is a more recent one. I only own the first one. I only care to own the first one. The Martian Extended Edition. I held out for this for a long time. You could have gotten the original or the normal version 4K for pretty cheap, but for some reason I was stuck on getting the extended edition, and eventually the extended edition came down to like $11. So I'm like, okay, did it. So happy with that. Another sci-fi 4K. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Very fun Henry Cavill movie. I like Henry Cavill. So, oh, and this is a Guy Ritchie. So that's a fun little spy action movie. Mad Max Fury Road, fun, really well-made action movie, $5 from Target. Luca, one of the, I think it's the best Pixar from this decade so far, and my favorite Pixar in a while. This is a lot of fun, so got that. Lord of the Rings trilogy. I ultimately do not care for Lord of the Rings. Someone could break into my house, steal this off of my shelf, and I would not care. Like, I wouldn't file a complaint. I wouldn't ask for my money back. This could disappear tomorrow. I honestly wouldn't care. But I did buy it. I hadn't seen the movies. I enjoy them, I guess. Like, there's worse movies out there. There's way worse movies out there. They're just so long, and it's hard for me to follow the story. And I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, so I don't care for the story. But it was $10 for the trilogy. I bought it like 5 years ago. I barely watched all 3 like a couple years ago. Shows you how much I cared. But yeah, they're fine. Whatever. Lone Survivor, Mark Wahlberg. I thought that was okay the first time I watched it, and then I watched it a second time. This was one of those ones where I watch it on streaming, and I thought it was all right. And then I'll think about it more and more, and then eventually, instead of just watching it on streaming again, I'll buy it when it's super cheap, watch it again that way, and then I end up liking it more, and then I'm like happy to put it on my shelf. It's like, oh, that was a good movie. So that's what happened with that one. But again, kind of like a war movie, again based on a true story. So I always like stuff like that. London Has Fallen. This is the second of the Has Fallen trilogy with Gerard Butler. That one's, I think, underrated. Still probably the worst of the three, but I still like it a lot. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, one of the first original Guy Ritchie British kind of crime comedies. I don't know what they're specifically called, but it's entertaining. Lions, Four Lambs, Tom Cruise and Robert Redford and Meryl Streep movie, and Andrew Garfield is in this. It's an insane cast for this movie. I guarantee you've never heard of. It's pretty short. It's pretty good. So I would definitely check it out if you can find it on streaming. And then that was one of the more expensive ones for me. I think it was like $10, which I didn't feel great about because it's such a short movie. But I like it that much, and it's like a rarer Blu-ray. So Lego Ninjago movie. I ultimately don't care for this. Like, the first half is good, and then the second half completely loses me. I only own this for the collection, more or less. This was like $6, so I was like, whatever. Lego Movie, on the other hand, this is the first one. This is a 10 out of 10 from me. This is one of my favorite movies. It's awesome. Does that count as a pun? I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. That's a must watch, I would say. Here's the other Arrow video that I own. One of my favorite movies ever, The Last Starfighter. Extremely underrated sci-fi adventure from I think it's 1984 this came out. And this is just awesome. Like, the fact that I own a 4K collector's edition of The Last Starfighter, like, this is just the best thing ever. I don't know how easy it is to find on streaming, but if you can find it on streaming, watch it. Just awesome. Look at that. Greetings, Starfighter. I want to watch it right now. The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. This was $5 from Walmart. For a long time, you could find this for $5 at Walmart. I don't know if you still can, but it's worth checking. This is a really good movie. One of, again, kind of a period piece epic. La La Land, also one of my favorite movies. Not quite a 10 out of 10 from me, but it's pretty close. This is one where I think if you were to buy it today, you would get a slipcover. For some reason, I bought this like maybe 4 years ago, and I've bought a couple since then for other people, and they've all come with slipcovers. So for some reason, this one keeps getting produced with a slipcover. So if you really wanted it, I would recommend getting it. It's an awesome movie. Night and Day, another Tom Cruise here. If you look closely on the bottom, it says rental. This is one of 2 Tom Cruise video rentals that I own. And I got these from a video store that kind of, I guess they must have bought out Blockbuster's stock or something like that after they went out of business. But I think it's cool. I do like the movie, but the fact that it's a rental kind of adds a level of rarity, not necessarily for value, but like if you were just look at my collection, it's not just, a bunch of stuff I bought. Obviously I bought it, but it's like, not things you can just find on Amazon. It's like this used to be a rental, so it just adds a little character, I guess. King's Speech, I think actually I did end up getting this for my birthday, but at the time, this was like $4. You could find this for $4 on Amazon. It's one of the cheapest movies I've ever seen. That being said, it's one of the best movies. Like, it is, on paper, you read the script for this movie, it's probably the most boring thing you've ever heard. But you watch it, it's so well done. It's so alive, I guess, for being so, again, on paper bland. But in reality, it's really, really good. I like 8 out of 10 level. I think this won Best Picture, and I won't even argue that. This is a Kingsman I guess, 2-movie collection. It's cool. I got it for like $9, cheap enough. What I don't like about it is the fact that it just shoves the 2 cases in there, kind of like the Wes Anderson one. If I get a collection like this, sure, it looks cool on the shelf and it does stand out, but if there's only 2 movies in it, just put them in one case. Like, the whole point of this is to try to save room on my shelf to get a collection like this. So the fact that they just put 2 cases in a cardboard thing, it actually takes up more space than just 2 cases would on their own. But I do like the first one. I've only seen each one once. Second one a little less than the first one, but still enjoyable. This is the Jaden Smith Karate Kid. I actually do like this movie. Don't hate me. If you want to hate me for something, I don't own the other Karate Kid movies. But my excuse for that is because I really want to own the original trilogy. They have a 4K box set, which looks really cool. It is not available. I don't know what happened with that thing. It felt like it was out for like a month and then it's just gone. You can technically buy it for like $130. Do I want to do that? No. I would honestly, if I saw it for $50, I would pull the trigger and get it for $50, which is way more than it's probably I should be paying for that. But I can't do $130. No way. I would even be willing to drop the box set part. Like, it would hurt me, but I would drop the box set and just get each one individually on 4K. But they don't exist. You can only get the first one on 4K individually. So if you want 2 and 3, which I'd want the whole trilogy, you have to get the whole box set, which is not available. And then we have Lost World here, Jurassic Park. So I own Jurassic Park 1 and 2, which are the ones I really like. Don't really care for 3, and then the new trilogy don't really care for. If someone gave me Jurassic World, the first one, I would keep it, but that's about it. So we have here the Planet of the Apes trilogy. This is the newer one with Matt Reeves did, I guess, the last 2. The first one has James Franco in it. Pretty cool box set. Again, they do the thing where they just shove 3 cases in there, which is a little annoying for someone like me trying to save space. I guess I didn't actually know this. The box set's like 3-dimensional. That's kind of cool. I really like the first one. I really like the second one. Third one's probably the weakest for me, but I still enjoy it. The only thing I'll say about this box set, I think I got the whole thing for about $16. So divided by 3, that's pretty good per movie. The only bummer about that was like a couple weeks later, the 4K version, which is pretty much the same thing, but just in 4K, I found for the same price, which if you have the choice between the 2, you're going to get the 4K one because they also come with the Blu-rays. Doesn't really matter. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but ultimately I'm still happy with what I got. Pineapple Express, another Seth Rogen, James Franco. Probably my least favorite out of all of them, but still really enjoyable. There was a Steelbook for that I kind of wanted, but I don't know, didn't end up getting Steelbook. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Logan Lerman is really good. This is probably Ezra Miller's best movie before he went insane, but this is just a really good movie. I would check that out. Another kind of on paper boring, but in reality good. Back-to-back Logan Lermans, Percy Jackson Sea of Monsters. This movie's alright. The only reason I own this is because I got this literally like as it came out, because I went to go see this in theaters like 3 times. Don't ask me why. When I was a kid, saw it in theaters 3 times. So when the Blu-ray came out, my parents got it for me, and I've held on to it this whole time. So I just put it back there. The Outfit. This came out in 22, I believe. Pretty underrated movie. This is really interesting. It's like one of those movies that takes place in like one room, pretty much the whole movie, under 2 hours. Pretty interesting kind of thriller. Here it is, Oppenheimer. I had the choice of getting this in either 4K or Blu-ray. The 4K did not come with a slipcover, as you can see. The Blu-ray did. So I ultimately decided to get the one for the higher. I went for a higher quality over slipcover, and I stand by that decision. But excellent movie. Olympus Has Fallen, the first but now last of the Has Fallen trilogy. Gerard Butler, probably my favorite. That one, the one that started all. Ocean's 11. This one, kind of like Die Hard. I got the first one because I liked the first one more than the other 2. Rewatched the other 2, realized I kind of like those as well, and a trilogy exists of all three, which also kind of takes up one slot. So, I don't regret owning this because I still really like it, but it would be cool to own the trilogy, I guess. Tom Cruise Oblivion, pretty underrated sci-fi in my opinion. I think this is pretty cool, and another sci-fi I waited to get the 4K of. That one's a lot of fun. Now You See Me, one of the first Blu-rays I bought to kind of start building my collection. Again, I hadn't seen this movie until I bought this, and I actually really liked it. I bought the second one as well with this. I did not like the second one that much. Third one's coming out. I hope that one's good. The Notebook, probably not the person you would expect to own The Notebook, but I like good movies, and I think this is a good movie. And you know what? I'm a sucker for Ryan Gosling, so whatever. I'll take it. Nightcrawler. This is I actually bought this used off of like Mercari or something. This was a kind of a rare Blu-ray to find at the time anyway. Again, one of the more expensive ones I bought because it was kind of rare. Really good Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Very, I don't think it's underrated. I think a lot of people appreciate this now, especially at the time of the Oscars. It definitely went under the radar. They did not give it the attention it deserved. Another good Ryan Gosling, The Nice Guys. I don't want to be that guy, but I was big on this movie. I think this movie's big now. I was big on this movie before it was like on Netflix and everyone was all over it. Like, oh, you gotta watch The Nice Guys. So I owned this like 4 years ago or something. Really, really good comedy. I think this is the one that came up in discussions after Barbie came out, and like, oh, Ryan Gosling's actually really funny. It's like, well, that you didn't watch The Nice Guys, and you would have known that already. Newsies. This one's a pretty good musical. I wish Disney would go back to doing stuff like this, I guess. Christian Bale, I believe when he was in high school, doing a musical, Disney musical. It's actually pretty good. Like, I'm not even joking. I genuinely like it. I could do both of these together. Narnia 1 and 2. I do not like the third one. I do not want to own the third one. I technically owned it on DVD, and I threw that in the trash. I didn't, but I really like the first one, and I really, really like the second one. That was one of my favorite movies. They both kind of come down a little bit for me just because of the fact that they're Disney movies with no blood in them. It's a little unrealistic when you're watching the battles, which I think the battles are the best part of these movies. They're really cool, and they really do immerse me in the world. But when you're watching the battles and they're like slashing people with swords and all this stuff, and there's like no blood, it kind of loses a bit of the believability. So I wish Disney would redo the trilogy, or at least those two, or whatever. Do the battles again. Make them PG-13 this time and give us a little blood, because those would be the best movies ever. My Cousin Vinny, now one of my favorite comedies ever. This thing is hilarious. I got that for pretty cheap. It's like $6 or $7. So I think if you're patient, you can also do the same. Mulan, really like Mulan. This is another free one I got from Disney. Again, with the slipcover. It's like a really good deal. Brad Pitt, Moneyball. As you can see, big A's fan. And the fact that this was filmed at the Coliseum was especially cool. And then the fact that this just was like mainstream popular, and people who were not super familiar with the A's thought this was a good movie. It just made it all the more cool. So, and this is even more relevant now. I think we'll be seeing a Moneyball 2, but this time about morons who own the company. And then, as I talked before, Mission Impossible 6-movie collection. I don't own 7 yet. I do want to own 7. This thing is cool. I bought this for like at most $35. I was with Grant one time at Best Buy returning a headset or something. I saw this. I'm like, I've never seen Mission Impossible. I heard they're good. I'm just going to get it and watch them. And I do like them all. So I would recommend, even if you haven't seen Mission Impossible, if you like action movies, if you like Tom Cruise, just buy the collection if you see a decent deal on it. And then just watch them, just once a week or something. It's the funnest thing to do. Sing Street is one of my favorite movies ever. I watched this on like Tubi or something. I forget where I heard of it. I saw some YouTuber say that it was good. Checked it out. I gave it like a 9 out of 10 right off the bat, and then I rewatched it again, gave it a 10 out of 10, and I was like, you know what, this is just awesome. So this is like I don't know. You just have to watch it. You just have to watch it at least once. Give it a try. I don't technically think it's a musical. It's about a guy or a kid in high school who starts a band, and then they play music. So if that counts as a musical for you, sure. Silver Linings Playbook, very good. Bradley Cooper, kind of what we were talking about earlier. This is probably Bradley Cooper's best performance ever. And the fact that he didn't win for this, kind of, if I was him, this would have upsetted me the most. It explains the whole Maestro thing. I'll just put it that way. Sicario 2. I bought this because I wanted to see the second one, and it was pretty cheap, and it wasn't streaming anywhere. And I enjoyed this enough to keep it. So I don't know if it's about on par with the first one for me. I guess it's a little bit less than the first one, but still good. They're both. I do like the first one. I just think it's overrated. We have Shrek 1 and 2 here. I'm in the boat that Shrek 1 is actually better than Shrek 2, but I do own both. And those are the only two I believe I will care to own. She's Out of My League, another personal favorite movie. This one's just so much fun for me. And Alice Eve again. You got Jay Baruchel and Alice Eve, both extremely underrated actors. Shang-Chi here is another freebie I got. These are like $15 Blu-rays, Disney Marvel Blu-rays with slipcovers that I got like 10 of these for free from Disney, all for just I didn't even go out of my way to buy Disney movies to get the points. These are movies that I was already buying, I already wanted to own, and then I got these other ones for free. Now, would I have gone out of my way to buy Shang-Chi on my own? No, probably not. Free's free, and I enjoy the movie enough to hold on to it and put it in my collection. Seven Psychopaths, probably my favorite Sam Rockwell movie. Colin Farrell's pretty good, Christopher Walken's pretty good, and Woody Harrelson. There's a lot of people in here. It's just it's a fun movie. I would check it out. I always like movies like that. They're fun, they're funny, they're short, and they've got good actors in them doing good performances. Those are my favorite types of movies. So check this out if you haven't. We have Normal Seven. This is the Fincher serial killer one. It's good. Brad Pitt, really young Brad Pitt's interesting. What's in the box and all that. You don't want to know what's in the box. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This one's really cool. It just makes me wish that, again, it's like Netflix, they don't put their stuff on physical, and it sucks because they have a show that came out a couple of years ago, and I really like it, and I won't ever be able to own it. As of now, I won't ever be able to own it because Netflix doesn't like doing physical media. Movie's really enjoyable, though. Again, with the Edgar Wright. Probably my second favorite Edgar Wright movie. Saving Private Ryan, classic. Spielberg. I think probably my favorite World War II movie. I think the best made World War II movie. Tom Hanks is really good. Everyone's really good in this. It's really immersive. There are certain things in it that are a little inaccurate, that if you look into it, like someone like me who's really into World War II, you look into the history side, it's not perfect. But there are extra things in there that go out of their way to be extra accurate. So I kind of offset those two and just kind of give them the benefit of the doubt there. Rounders, another Matt Damon, Edward Norton movie. This one's a lot of fun, kind of like a poker drama thing. I would check out Rounders. I watched this originally with Grant a few years ago. We were doing this thing where we would just kind of pick a movie and just watch it together online, kind of. So that was one of them. We both really liked it. RoboCop, the 2014 remake. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I don't care for the original. To me, I didn't grow up with it. It looks dated to me. I watched this, and I really did give the first one a chance. I watched this one first, I believe, and then I watched the original. And I just appreciate the extra character they gave to RoboCop in this one versus the original. Not to mention the effects are undoubtedly better in this one. This is not by any means an amazing movie. Like, this is like a 6 out of 10 for me. It's enjoyable enough. When it was $6, I bought it. So, and I honestly, I wouldn't really care to own the original, but I know someone's gonna blast me for that one. But whatever, man. Robin Hood, I think this was like $10 I bought on a Black Friday sale, which for being as short as it is really steep, but it is a Disney, so you can kind of justify it there. This is a fun classic Disney animated movie. I think it's the only Disney 100 Blu-ray that I own, like kind of their limited release, whatever. They had some Star Wars Steelbooks, but like the Disney logo was bigger than the Star Wars logo. I'm like, I'm not putting that on my shelf. The Revenant, another one I hadn't seen until I bought it. Really liked it. DiCaprio earned the Oscar for that one. Ready Player One, kind of like Ambulance. After I bought this, I was like, did I really need to own that? I kind of regret that. But since I watched it recently, again, it's kind of a movie made for people like me who appreciate pop culture, gaming, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. I really appreciate, especially the end, how, like, not to spoil it, but it gives a lot of respect to classic game creators and stuff like that, like original Atari games and things like that. So that's cool. I'll hold on to that. The Raid collection, another two movie collection that I bought, and I hadn't seen either movie. I heard that The Raid 2 was like one of the best movies of all time, so that's what kind of sold me on this. Funny enough, I actually like The Raid 1 better than The Raid 2. I don't dislike The Raid 2. I like Raid 2. I would just rather watch Raid 1. I think the first one's actually better, but they're both good. They are subtitled, so if that's a problem for you, then you might not like that, but I like it. So we have Puss in Boots 1 and 2 here. I made an effort to get both of these a couple Black Fridays ago. They were like $10 a piece. So I enjoy, obviously the new one's really good, and I actually really I think the first one's actually an underrated DreamWorks movie. So those are really fun. When I watched those like last year, I think I did a double feature in one day and just watched them both. So Pulp Fiction, either favorite or second favorite Tarantino. A lot of fun. Travolta's awesome, and Travolta's awesome. That's his movie. I don't care what anybody says. And Uma Thurman's really good too. Proposal, a really fun rom-com, I guess, with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. I like both of those actors, so this was just an enjoyable movie to me. It was kind of one of those movies I saw on like Peacock or something that just had like Ryan Reynolds on the poster, so I was like, I made a note of it, like, oh, look into this, check it out, see if it's any good, and I ended up really liking it. So The Prestige, Christopher Nolan with Christian Bale again. Probably a 10 out of 10. It's objectively, in my opinion, an excellently made film. I didn't talk about this at the Back to the Future. I kind of just talked about the release. The first Back to the Future, I think, is objectively the best movie ever made, in my opinion. I like the other two. But again, this one's kind of up there with Back to the Future. It's super solid writing. It's a good story. It was shot very well. The way they do the reveals at the end are really intriguing. Just really good. Pop Star, I don't remember what any of the people are called. This is just kind of funny. This is a funny little comedy. It's pretty short. I will say that here's a little trick to something. If I'll mention this again in the Building Your Own Blu-ray Collection video. What this actually is, I didn't buy it like this. I bought this on eBay, and it came with the disc, and it came with the paper sleeve. So I had a few extra Blu-ray cases lying around, which is why I bought it. It was like $6. And then I put the things in here, and then you have a complete thing. The reason I did that is because this particular movie is a little difficult to find in Blu-ray. Either difficult or expensive. So this is a possible route to go if you're looking for certain movies that are eluding you. And I had the case. I got the cases for a different reason, but having them already, maybe it's worth investment if you can justify it. They weren't that expensive. Like if you do it right, the cases come out to about $1 a piece, somewhere around there, which is about as good as you can do. And then Point Break here, Swayze and Keanu Reeves. This is just another over the top. Is this LA? I don't remember if this is LA or not. I believe it is LA, if I'm not mistaken. So another over the top, ridiculous LA kind of heist crime FBI thing. It's fun. This was again recommended to me from a YouTuber I watched, and they were right. All right, here we go. Top Gun, first one, Blu-ray. Nothing too special about that. I think it was $10 though, so kind of overpaid for that. Adventures with Tintin, very underrated Spielberg, very underrated animated feature. This one's a lot of fun, and I own this for a while also, kind of like the Percy Jackson. So that was a nice addition to just kind of kickstart my collection. Ticket to Paradise, I kind of talked about this with After the Sunset earlier. Another one where the location is just really cool to get immersed in. This one I would say is better than that. It's also got Caitlin Dever in it, and then George Clooney, obviously. Just a lot of good actors in here, really fun. It's also just a nice, relaxing movie. It's a good break from all the serious stuff they've been doing lately, all these big budget, whatever. It's short, small. It's good. Here is that Thor 3 movie collection I was talking about. I like Dark World, or I should say I don't dislike Dark World, so yeah. This Means War, Chris Pine, Reese Witherspoon, Tom Hardy. This was on sale at Walmart, and I needed like $5 to get free shipping on my order, and I saw who was in it. I'm like, I'll give that a try, and I ended up liking it, so you never know. For the most part, I would put trust in actors that you enjoy watching, and most of the time you'll end up liking their movies if you haven't seen them. This Is the End, classic comedy, especially for this group, the Energy Group. This is a big one. Would definitely recommend that. Again, James Franco and Seth Rogen. That Thing You Do. I got into this movie because I'm a fan of Green Day. Green Day did a album of cover songs a couple years ago, one of which was That Thing You Do. And when I was playing it, I think it was my dad told me that there was a movie. Like, do you know what that song is from and all this stuff? So I checked out the movie, really liked the movie. And it's here it is, and I enjoy it. And funny enough, when I watched this with my family a couple years ago, there was there's like two versions. There's an extended version and a regular version. The extended cut theatrical version. Typically an extended cut, for the most part, is just only supposed to be like 10 minutes longer than the original. This one added like half an hour to the runtime. So when we were watching it, and everyone was like, dude, this movie is so long, what is happening? I'm like, oops, I messed up. That Awkward Moment is actually a decent comedy. I guess it's kind of a rom-com. Miles Teller was the reason I checked this out, but also Zac Efron is pretty good in this too. So if you can find that, I would watch it. It's also pretty short. Terminator 2, the only Terminator that I own, the only Terminator I care to own. I've seen 1 through 4. This one's particularly good to me. Again, shot in California, all over California, so that one is kind of gets a little bump for me, but I think it's just really good. It's a really well-made action movie. If I'm not really a Terminator fan, I would say that. Ted 1 and 2, enjoyable comedies for me. Second one, definitely more than the first. Surf's Up, excellent soundtrack. Just a really classic animated movie. Superbad, not a James Franco, Seth Rogen, but more or less the same. I mean, Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, I mean, this is as classic as it gets. Straight Outta Compton was one that I hadn't watched until a couple years ago, and when I finally did, I really liked it, and I bought it that Black Friday. Another one I've seen on sale, the 4K on sale for pretty cheap, but I haven't felt the need to upgrade. I've only owned it for like a year or two. State of Play, I got this recently. Pretty good thriller, actually, with Russell Crowe and Ben Affleck. I enjoyed it. I remember liking it the first time, but watching it the second time, I really enjoyed it. Starship Troopers. This is kind of like a must-own sci-fi, I guess. Like, as a fan of... I would count it as an indie sci-fi. I mean, it's more mainstream now, but I don't know. I would count it as an indie sci-fi. It's like its own thing. It's fun. I think it's well made. It's over the top for sure. This is the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. I probably paid a little too much for this at the time, but I really liked No Way Home after I saw it, so I was okay with spending a little bit more. We have the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy here, which is a little bit thicker than I would have appreciated. I think they could have gone thinner. But these are also good. I enjoy all of them, obviously, so I own all the Spider-Mans. Speed. This was, again, another one I've seen for 4K pretty cheap after I bought the Blu-ray. This was pretty cheap as well. This was like $5 if I remember correctly. I really like that. Spaceballs was one. I actually got this for free technically because of Target. If you look at the listing for this, it shows it with a black Blu-ray case. So when it showed up with a normal Blu-ray case, I was kind of like, I think I spent like $7 on it. I was like, hey, you know, I thought it had a cool black case, so I was going to return it. And then they said, we don't want it back. You just hold on to it. I'm like, I'll take a free Spaceballs. But I hate how they do that. It's on every site. Like, they'll show it one way, like either they'll show it with a slipcover, or they'll show it with a cool looking case or something, and then it shows up and it's just a normal case like this. It's like, don't false advertise me. It's like, to someone like me, something special case like that would be cool. It's like a little extra piece for your collection. It's like, you know, this Spaceballs is unique because it has this special case, but guess not. Space Jam 4K does not need to be 4K, but it was a good deal for 4K. I enjoy Space Jam. I do not own Back in Action, the Looney Tunes Back in Action. I would like to. It's very rare to find, so eventually I will go out of my way to try to track that down and get it. Social Network, a very interesting release here. This was one of the first ones I bought when I was building my collection. I don't know if this, in my collection, a media book is kind of a myth. I don't think this counts as a media book, but it's got, it's like an interesting kind of thing. So it's probably the closest I'm going to come to having a media book. But, yeah. It's a cool thing nonetheless. A little beat up, but that's Amazon for you. We have Snatch here, which is the other classic British comedy from Guy Ritchie. I like this one more than Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Brad Pitt's in this. So cool. And then Singin' in the Rain. Got this for like Christmas or something, I feel like. And it's really good. Good classic musical. I probably should rewatch this. I really like this. Haven't seen it in a while. Okay, the alphabetical order that I was going through is going to get a little wonky now, because if you can see down here, the way basically on the end of my normal collection here, and then what's happening here is these are the movies also organized in alphabetical order, but the ones I haven't watched yet, I kind of leave them separate. So I know those are the ones I haven't seen yet, and then I'll add them in to the collection after I've watched them. So we're going to go a little backwards, and then we'll kind of catch up and finish off the normal list. But first is the George Lazenby collection for James Bond, and that is a joke because there's only one George Lazenby movie, but I like to call it the George Lazenby collection because all the releases like this for Bond have been called collections. So On Her Majesty's Secret Service is his movie, and I believe I enjoyed that one. I just recently finished collecting all the Bond movies. I enjoy them at various levels. Most of them I like, but it's kind of like a thing, you know, I felt like I needed to have the whole collection because I do enjoy most of them. We have Sean Connery 1 and 2 here, Volume 1 and 2, which is all of his movies minus the knockoff Bond that he did. I'm not going to read all of those off, but volume 2, I believe, took me a minute. I had to return that one like 6 or 7 times because it just kept these white slipcover things, like they just kept showing up beat up. And you know, they're not the cheapest. I mean, nothing's cheap, especially now. It's like, have respect for your money. If you buy something and they don't care about what you ordered and they just, you know, give you a beat up one and say, take it, you're gonna like it, don't put up with this. Send it back. Here's the Blu-ray of Heat that I talked about previously. I'm not sure what to do with this. I've considered giving it to either my parents or my brother or something to help their collections, but I've held on to it for now. Wolf of Wall Street. I think this is a little backwards. Wolf of Wall Street. Maybe my favorite Scorsese. Definitely my favorite 3-hour long movie. I think it earns its runtime, unlike most 3-hour movies I have seen. Even better than Oppenheimer, I would say. But this, and by far DiCaprio's best performance, in my opinion. This is just a really interesting, entertaining film to just watch all the way through. I think my order is a mix-up because this should be ahead of it. Zombieland. This was a lot shorter than I remembered when I rewatched it. What's his name? Not Zuckerberg. Jesse Eisenberg, and he played Mark Zuckerberg. And then Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone. I ultimately like Emma Stone. I don't think I'd go out of my way to watch Emma Stone movies, but you know, she's good in what she's in. Maybe a little overrated. The Oscars really seem to like her. White Christmas. I believe this is the only Christmas movie I own, and it is my favorite Christmas movie. Also an older one. Really cool that this came with a slipcover. They got a 65th anniversary for that. I don't recall if that exists in 4K or not. I believe I have seen it in 4K. Maybe I'll upgrade to that eventually, but for now, it's just cool that I own it with a slipcover. Whiplash here. The Blu-ray Steelbook, also in a protective case. What's cool about this one is I actually ordered this one of my first Black Fridays from Best Buy, $6. And I was talking about earlier where they false advertise what the cover is going to look like or whatever. Well, in this case, it was false advertised in my favor because I thought I was getting a standard Blu-ray case, and they ended up sending me a full-on Steelbook. So for $6, and this thing's heavy. Like, there is actual weight value here for your $6. Not to mention the movie's like one of my favorites. It's one of the best movies objectively I've ever seen, in my opinion. Wedding Crashers. Here it is. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. All its glory. Enjoyable comedy. That was a nice addition. I was looking for Fanboys and Wedding Crashers, and they had them both in a lot for pretty cheap, so that was a good deal. Warrior was one, I believe, also a Target pickup, or it might have been a Best Buy pickup, but for like $5. Hadn't seen it before. It had like an 8.0 rating on IMDb, so I checked it out, and I would agree with that rating. It's really, really well done, really, really good. I've only seen it once, but I would like to rewatch it again sometime. War Games, Matthew Broderick. This is a classic from my childhood, I guess. I used to watch this a lot. Kind of one of the very early video game movies, technically, which is just cool. Like something like this and Last Starfighter, Tron. I think it's 80s, if I'm not mistaken. It has to be because he's so young, but just 80s video games movies like that because they were rare yet popular at the time. Like, video games were popular, but movies on them were kind of rare. It was like appealing to it's like speaking 40 years into the future, 30 years into the future, almost. Like, they're making movies not just for the people of that time, but for future generations to appreciate. War Dogs, another Miles Teller movie. Pretty enjoyable. Not the best, but it's still good. And it's kind of like an in-between thing. I like Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, and it also kind of covers the war stuff. I believe it was based on a true story. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember, but it gives you a lot of interesting facts about how the military does budget with third-party contractors and stuff like that. How third-party contractors kind of go through loopholes in order to make money and things like that. Waiting, Ryan Reynolds comedy. This movie would never get made today. This thing is insane, but it's also really cool. Justin Long is pretty good in this, and John Francis Daly does not get credit from what I can see, but he's also an underrated part of this. It's really short. Just watching it, it feels like a student film. Like it felt like there was no budget behind this, which is not a bad thing, but it gives it a certain charm, which kind of makes you feel like you're watching something that wasn't meant to be seen almost. It's cool. Here is the second Tom Cruise rental. So I have two rentals, and they're both Tom Cruise movies. This is Valkyrie, a World War II movie, and also an interesting, understated event that happened in World War II. It kind of tells the story of, not everyone in the German army was on Hitler's side. Like, what did the officers who disagreed with what he was doing, what did they do about it? Kind of tells that story, and pretty underrated, again, Tom Cruise performance. V for Vendetta, classic. Technically, so this is technically a DC movie, but I don't put it with my DC stuff because although it's DC Comics, I save my DC section for Justice League and Batman and stuff like that. So to me, I just put it with the normal things. Uncharted, I'm a huge Uncharted fan. Have all the games, played all the games. This is not a great adaptation of Uncharted. What it is an entertaining treasure hunting adventure movie. So I kind of separate it from the games in order to enjoy it more. I do enjoy it. It's like a very solid 6 out of 10 for me. But I mean, ultimately what it does is it gives you a treasure hunting movie that they just don't make anymore. And it's a nice breath of fresh air. Would I have liked different actors to be portraying Nate and Sully? Sure. But the fact that it exists at all shows that, Naughty Dog has not given up on the franchise completely, although they probably have now. I don't know where the sequel is. It's now been about 3 years, and I don't even know if they started filming yet. Bearable Weight of Massive Talent, very funny Pedro and Nicolas Cage movie. So if you like Pedro or Nicolas Cage, definitely watch this. Tropic Thunder, another classic comedy. Jay Baruchel again, and others. Training Day. This one's really grown on me. Another kind of crazy LA movie where it's I don't know. Portraying LA like this to me is really cool, but again, this one's more of like a fictional thing. Something like End of Watch, I don't know if I'd want to own because that's such a dark story. Not to say that that's non-fiction. I'm pretty sure that's fiction as well. Of all the times I could have said this, I'm going to say it now. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. This is a very underrated comedy of his, and he does a really good job. It was one of his first movies, I'm pretty sure. He has to do singing in it. He does his own singing as far as I know. A lot of tough scenes, believable acting. This is just really fun. If you can watch this, I think it's on Tubi or something. Check it out. But really young Val Kilmer, and it's really, really cool to watch. It's just a fun time. And then this is one of the big ones I own. I think this is, as of a month ago, this was the most expensive thing in my whole collection in terms of how much I paid for it. This is a Top Gun Maverick Steelbook, 4K Steelbook. This cost me about $35, I think, back when I bought it. I got it the very first day it came out, and I typically would not do that. But the only reason I did it was because, first of all, we do family movie night over here, and I wanted to pick this as my movie, which was in like 2 days of that time. So I needed to get it. And then the reason I went to the store to get this was because the Steelbook had pre-orders had sold out. I heard that they were going to have them in stock at Best Buy. At the time, Best Buy was still selling them. and I didn't like the look of the regular 4K slipcover version, and I wanted to get it in 4K, not Blu-ray, so my only option was the Steelbook, so I had to go all out, and I got this. I don't regret it. It's an awesome movie. It's a really cool looking Steelbook. I got a little protective case for it, but it was expensive, so better enjoy it. Okay, we got the last of our movies here. We'll go through them very quickly. We got Pirates 3, and we have Pirates 2. I want to own the first one. I wish they had a trilogy of all three, but they don't. But the first one, for some reason, it went out of stock, and now it's back. It's like $10, waiting for it to come down to at least $8 before I get that. Minority Report. I originally did not care to own this. This is not my favorite Spielberg or Tom Cruise, but what really fascinates me about this movie is the soundtrack. It is very... John Williams did this one as well, and this came out in 2002. So did Attack of the Clones. It's very Attack of the Clones-esque, and I just thought that was extremely fascinating. I do ultimately like the movie. It's just not my favorite. Lego Movie Part 2, nowhere near the first one for me, but I do like it. It does remind me of certain things, so I do wanted to own it for the collection, just to have it. Kung Fu Panda 1, probably the only one I will care to own. It's actually still sealed. I gotta watch it soon. Came with a slipcover, pretty cool. Got the very good deal on that one. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, if you didn't know, the guy Shane Black made this, who also made Nice Guys. And I really wish whoever it is, Warner Brothers, whoever, just let this guy make more movies, assuming he wants to. But like these are really good. Like the writing is good. Another Val Kilmer, Robert Downey Jr. Val Kilmer. But man, I wish he'd make more movies. Holdovers, very underrated movie from 2023. It got beat out by Oppenheimer for Best Picture, but it did get nominated, which I think was the right call. And out of all the movies nominated for Best Picture, that one's actually good. So it's shocking that the Oscars recognize that. E.T., kind of shocked myself I own this. I did enjoy it, got a good deal on it. I figured, it's probably a decent Halloween-esque movie to own. Creed trilogy. Slipcover for this is pretty beat up, but actually it's one of the better ones I was able to get. I tried getting this so many times, just kept getting beat up. I really enjoy the first one, and then it kind of drips a little bit, but I do enjoy them all. So there's that. Coyote Ugly. Actually a decent, I don't even know what genre this is, or what you would call this. It's just a decent movie. And the only reason I watched this at all was because Third Eye Blind was on the soundtrack. But I actually ended up liking it. And the song was in it for like 10 seconds in the background. I only heard it because I knew to look for it. But yeah. The only Criterion I have in my collection is Blowout. It's a 4K. I think, this is the 4K version. We do this thing at my house where we will, when the Oscar nominees come out, we try to watch as many as possible before the Oscars happen. And then I create a spreadsheet, or not a spreadsheet, a Google form, and we do our own voting on what we think will win each category. We either do our best guess if we haven't seen everything, or based on what we've seen. But key word there is who we think they will pick, not who we think should win. So it's kind of a guessing game. For the Oscars, I won this year, so my prize was I get to pick a movie, and I picked Blowout because it was on sale. So, really good, interesting John Travolta movie. Underrated. I don't know, I say underrated a lot, but whatever. First Bad Guys, also a really good DreamWorks movie from more recent years. I think that one kind of gets overshadowed by Last Wish. And now especially Wild Robot, probably rightfully so, but I still think it's a fun, more kids DreamWorks movie, animated movie, but still good. Like I'm not a kid anymore, I still enjoy it. American Fiction, from the same year as Holdovers and Oppenheimer, and again, one of the ones nominated for Best Picture that I think actually deserves it, especially for the writing. Really well written movie. The last of the Bond here, so. Daniel Craig 4K collection. Pretty good. I heard some things about this particular release where the case itself is not very good, so the discs are a little loose in there. But ultimately, I'm not too bothered by that. Pierce Brosnan collection. Out of all my slip cases, this one's the most beat up, but it's not terrible. And I'd prefer to have it with the case if it's between slightly beat up or no case at all, just because it'll now match the other ones. We have the two Timothy Dalton Bonds. The reason they don't have, or they're not in the white case like the other ones, is for some reason you can't find it. Like, it doesn't exist in Blu-ray. I don't know why, but I had to get these separately, which thankfully the one that they didn't make was the Bond with only 2 movies, not like a Roger Moore who has 4 or something. So that would have been annoying. So it only takes up 1 additional slot on the shelf versus 4. Could have been worse. And then we have both Roger Moore collections, which is probably my least favorite Bond. His movies kind of drag for me a bit. Then our final pieces here, they have Wall Street 1 and 2. I actually went out of my way to try to find the 2-pack with both of them in it, because I do enjoy the second one, actually. I don't think it's bad. First one's obviously better, but I ended up getting this on eBay. It was like a Goodwill listing. Pretty decent price. I think it was like $10. So for 2 movies, that's pretty good. Tommy Boy. I watched this last year, I believe. I actually really enjoyed this. It was more than just a stupid comedy, and I was really impressed by that. Even David Spade, who I don't particularly care for, I thought was pretty good. So I can't wait to watch that again. Equilibrium, still in the plastic, actually. I got this recently. Christian Bale, kind of like a Matrix ripoff type thing. It's a little over the top. It's sci-fi. It looks like they're using Spider-Man font there for the title, but I don't know. It's in the end, it's fun, so I wanted to own it and kind of just check it out again. Wild Robot 4K Collector's Edition. I don't know why they call it a Collector's Edition. If you buy a 4K, you're getting this version of it. So maybe... No, I don't know why it's a Collector's Edition. Whatever. Really good movie. Objectively speaking, it was the best movie I saw last year. It wasn't my favorite. We'll get to that later. But it was the best movie I saw last year. And we got this for Christmas. I think I got that for Christmas. Everyone got it for Christmas. So, Tron Legacy. I was really hoping to get this in 4K, but it does not exist in 4K as far as I know. And it was on sale. It went on sale for like $6 or something. So I'm like, fine, I'll just pick it up. The Toy Story trilogy here. This took me a minute to collect. I started with 3, and then I got 2 eventually, and then finally 1. And I haven't watched these yet. I was waiting to kind of do them when like my family was available to watch them, because we all like them. But then I got busy with other things, so hopefully soon I'll be able to check those out. So I Married an Axe Murderer, I believe, is a 90s comedy, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm going to say it again, very underrated comedy and movie overall. Mike Myers, really funny. Check this out. I mean, you can do this either Valentine's Day or Halloween. It works for both. I originally watched this as a Halloween movie. Again, surprised that this exists in 4K. And I was lucky enough to get a slipcover with it. I spent a little bit more on this than I typically would for a 4K. But because it came in such good condition with the slipcover, I let it go. And very lastly, we have the Rocky collection, which I have varying opinions on the Rocky movies. I overall enjoy them. So I got a really good deal on this, so I was like, okay, I'll just own it. And then I was really struggling between whether or not I should get the Blu-ray or try to go for the 4K. And then I ultimately decided I don't care to own it in 4K. It really doesn't matter to me. So I went with the cheaper option, which I definitely stand by now. All right, I'm going to do my very few TV shows that I have that are not DC. Most of the TV shows I own are either anime or DC. And then down there that you see what's right there, this is all anime. We'll get to that probably at the end. So very quickly, Thundercats. This was a just a fun animated show that I watch. I'm not even a huge Thundercats fan. I don't even know who is a huge Thundercats fan, but this show's pretty cool. It came out like 2011, Cartoon Network. Very mature. Like, there's a lot of genocide and stuff like that in here. I'm like, okay. But it's fun. I'm shocked this even exists on Blu-ray at all. But once I found out it did, I actually bought that before I started collecting, just because I wanted to watch the show. It was before it was on streaming, and it was like 2018 or something. I found out that the show existed on Blu-ray, and I'm like, I need to watch that again. So I bought it and did that. Last of Us Season 1. I bought this because I really liked the show. It was $15 Black Friday. I stand by that purchase. I rewatched this fairly recently because the new season's out. Currently halfway through it, and I still really enjoy it. And I'm okay not owning the second one if it comes to that. I decided on that when I purchased the Season 1. I said, if case Season 2 is not good, I'm okay with just owning Season 1. So we're going to stick with that. Johnny Quest. I do not know how many episodes. All 26 episodes, apparently. I still haven't watched this. I started watching this like a while ago, and something happened. This is another thing I kind of used to watch as a kid, and I just wanted to check it out. So I'm gonna have to check this out pretty soon and actually get on watching this. But it's unique. Have you ever seen anyone with this in their collection? I bet you haven't. I've probably seen everyone with this in their collection. Band of Brothers. I wish I would have got a like a collector's tin. I have the Pacific as a big collector's tin, and I really wanted to get this in a collector's tin just so that it would match. But as far as I know, it's not really available anymore. And then this was like $10 on a Black Friday, and I just could not pass it up. $10 for this is an absolute steal. So yeah, really, really strong series. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. And then we have the Avatar Complete Series Blu-ray here. Actually, now surprised that this even exists. If you know, Nickelodeon does not put a lot of their shows on Blu-ray or just physical at all. Like, I can't even find a Drake and Josh DVD. If I really wanted it, I couldn't do it. But the fact that this exists in Blu-ray just speaks to its popularity, speaks to its quality. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I think it's really well done. So I always liked how I watch that probably like once every other year. We're supposed to watch it this year coming up. So here's the Pacific that I have. It's like this huge collector's tin I got for Christmas a while ago. It actually took us a while to watch this because I watched it with my family, and then we got really, really busy, so we had to kind of put it off. But it's really cool. I don't like it as much as Band of Brothers. I don't think anyone really likes this more than Band of Brothers. But it does have its place. It does do things differently than Band of Brothers. I appreciate how it shows certain aspects of the Pacific. And the case is pretty cool. So even though the show isn't as good as Band of Brothers, it makes up for it by having a really cool collector's thing like this. So now we're going to do Star Wars. We'll go through that real quick. It's actually off to my side here on the shelf. You can't see, but I keep it separate than my other regular collection. Okay, so in case you didn't know, Star Wars is probably my favorite thing, franchise, whatever, of all time. Probably will always be my favorite franchise thing of all time. So the movies, it's because of the movies. So in particular, I value these things highly. They're like, they're like treasures, gotta treat them like that. So first we have the Blu-ray release of, it's like this box set thing. I got this on eBay. I think this is the one that came with the Indiana Jones that I got. Really good deal. I used to own the Darth Vader version of this, which wasn't as cool. It was more like a slip cover over a larger Blu-ray case. I gave that one to my brother, and I kept this one because it's got really cool artwork for each movie. So this is more of a thing for collectors, I guess. But I don't know. It's just cool. I don't even know what these other discs are. So bonus documentary and stuff like that. It's got a booklet. It's just really cool. Stuff like this, this stuff like this was made for people like me. So that's really cool. And then because I am a collector, well, not really because I'm a collector, but I ended up getting all 6 on 4K just to be that guy. So I'm a huge original, or I guess it's complete saga supporter, fan, whatever. So 1 through 6 I went out of my way to get on 4K, just like to have the option of watching them. In fact, we just had May 4th. We watched A New Hope on 4K. That was really cool. Empire, and then Return of the Jedi. This is the one I haven't seen yet, because at the time I bought these, Return of the Jedi was doing their anniversary in theaters, so I had watched 4 and 5, and then we went to the theaters to watch 6. So I just bought 6, but I hadn't watched it yet because we saw it in theaters instead. The only sequel thing I own is Force Awakens. This is like a special edition release from Target, and there we go. It's pretty cool. It's not quite a media book, but it's kind of as close as I'm gonna get. We got that right after the movie came out of theaters. The second it was in stores, my dad bought us all that. Same thing with Rogue One. But I actually do like Force Awakens. I watch Force Awakens, kind of see it as its own standalone thing rather than a disappointing part, the beginning of a disappointing trilogy. I just see it as its own thing, and I can enjoy it for that. And then Rogue One, the best thing Disney's ever put out Star Wars wise. I stand by that. This is a really cool collector's steelbook, the only Star Wars steelbook I own. I don't know if I'll ever go and get the complete saga steelbooks. I know they exist. They're okay. But yeah, this is really cool to have. Only the Blu-ray. I will probably upgrade and get a 4K of Rogue One eventually, but I'm not super eager to do so. And then because I usually have a rule with my collection: no DVDs. I don't do DVDs. The only reason I own the original 6 on DVD here is because, if you know, I'll try to find it on YouTube and put it in this thing, but in the main menus of these DVDs, right before you get to the main menu, they play the Star Wars logo. And in the Star Wars logo, they got the music going, just like it would be if you were watching the movie, starting the movie. And they have scenes from the movies playing in each letter of the logo, and it's like zooming in. And it's just the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's something so simple and so small, but it makes all the difference. So I literally own the DVDs for one thing that plays before the main menu. Not exactly a good justification, but it's all I'm gonna give you. And then again, I don't know how rare this is in per se. It's a little beat up, but it's like the original trilogy DVD box set. I got a good deal on this, assuming. I mean, it looks like it would be something like kind of rare, but it's cool. So just a cool thing to have on the shelf. And then other than all the movies, I own Clone Wars in its entirety, asterisk, on Blu-ray. So there's the 2003 Clone Wars I own on DVD. They don't exist in Blu-ray. I've come this close to buying a bootleg Blu-ray version just to see how it comes out, because I don't think Disney is going to do it. But these are awesome. If you've never seen these, you need to watch these. These are literally the best thing ever. Probably my favorite Star Wars content of all time. And then we have the actual Clone Wars show. So starts with the movie. No slipcover for this. I don't know if it came with a slipcover. As far as I know, if you wanted to get the Blu-ray of the Clone Wars movie, you have a lot of options. There's so many variants of like the cover for this. I went out of my way to get the Fox one just because I like Clone Troopers a lot. So I'm like, give me the one with Fox on it. And on the spine, it's got some troopers there. But if you really look at this, it kind of looks like a fake cover. Like a lot of Blu-rays do not have like rounded edges on the paper there, but this one does. So I don't know. As far as I know, it's legit, but it could not be. And then before I go into each season, I actually bought the complete series minus the movie, because I already own the movie, but I bought the complete show on eBay for like $230, which is extremely expensive, but they were all sealed still. And the guy, this was not part of the, geez, it was not part of the lot, but the guy sent me this special like DVD thing with a slipcover for like the first 4 episodes, which I used to own. I think I actually owned this exact one before, minus the slipcover. But that was just really nice of that person, and really cool for a collector like me. I'll never open it. I don't need to. I get the episodes on here. So season 1, they call this the collector's edition, like box set or whatever. There is no non-collector's edition, like standard case. So this is just really cool. And then season 2, also collector's edition. Pretty nice. And then season 3 just gets a, this is why I ended up getting the lot that I did, and it cost a fortune sealed or whatever, was because I just had to have them with the slipcovers. So you could get them fairly cheap without the slipcovers for the most part. I think season 4 and 5 is where you run into some problems. Season 3 I've seen for fairly reasonable for without the slipcover, but with the slipcover it's a lot more. So overall, even though it cost me everything and I no longer have money, it was probably a decent deal. It was definitely worth it. I watched the show. It's one of my favorite shows, and I'll watch it for years and years. So it was definitely a good investment to get. And then, as I said, asterisk on the show, owning the whole show. So season 7, which is like 12 episodes. If you are familiar with the show, it was a Disney Plus exclusive, and to this day does not exist in Blu-ray. Disney has not put it out. So I own the entirety of the show that you can own. I have this feeling that at one point Disney is going to release the Clone Wars as like a box set or something, and it'll have season 7 in it, and I'll have spent $200 for nothing. But in that case, I'll just buy the box set and own it twice. So about the show, I don't have a problem owning things twice, or as you saw with the movies, I own it 3 times. But yeah, and then there was a box set that I was this close to buying. The Blu-ray one was actually more expensive than getting that whole lot on its own. But the box set was cool. It had like Clone Troopers on it and stuff. It did not come with season 6 though, so I would have had the Blu-ray box set, which would have cost like $250, and then season 6 separate from that. So I figured I'll just get each one individually. That way, on the off chance they do release season 7, it'll fit better with my collection. So now I'm going to show my Sonic stuff, which is right at the top, the one that we skipped right up there. We're gonna go over that, and yeah. So if you were asking me 2 years ago to show you my Sonic collection, I would have nothing to show you. That is because I only watched the movies for the first time beginning of last year, and I thought they were the best things ever. So now here we are, and I own them more times than I should. So we're gonna start off with the first one, that I got, was this right here. So I watched the first 2 movies, and then the second I saw them on sale, I got this 2-pack here. Came with this slipcover, and it's the first 2 movies, and they're awesome. I watched this with my brothers. There's a classic story with that. We watched the first one, and then immediately watched the second one because they thought the first one was so great, and that literally never happens. So best movies ever. And then after I bought those, I ended up on, I think it was like Prime Day or something. They had this on sale, which is the 2-movie 4K Steelbook collection. Comes in this box set thing, which is pretty cool. First Steelbook is just the Steelbook. There is a paper backing for it that I'm going to try to find separately. Yeah, you can try to claim that code. It's not going to work for you. But it's just really cool. I mean, I can justify buying it a second time for the Steelbooks because it's like a collector's thing. It's upgrading from Blu-ray to 4K, so that makes sense. And then just for your information here, so this is the second movie Steelbook. It's got this little paper thing over it, and then it's got this plastic sleeve over the case here. If you were to buy this two Steelbook collection thing, they still sell, you will not get this plastic thing with it. You will get just this right here. No paper either. And the reason I have the paper and sleeve is because I bought the second Steelbook separately, which, as far as I know, you can still do again. And you will, what I did was I just swapped it out. I took the paper and the sleeve from the other one, and I took it here. I returned the second Steelbook as is without the thing, and I just claimed that it never came with a sleeve. So call me unethical, but you know how many times Amazon has, like, Amazon doesn't deserve your pity. Let's just put it that way. So give me one, okay? Just let me have one here. Now the ones I can't justify, and I only own these because I'm crazy. We have the first movie again as a limited edition collector's version. This one's a bit cooler because it's got the... First of all, I like yellow, so having it be yellow is cool. I think it's got like some cards or whatever in it, some like exclusive whatever. I really don't care. I just wanted to... It was just an excuse to buy the movie again and watch it again. But this is cool. And it took me a minute to find one with the slipcover, because you can buy it on Amazon still. It just won't come with a slipcover, so I had to go somewhere else. And then the second one, again, this is a Walmart exclusive with the slipcover. This one's a little less justifiable because it comes with just literally the standard case for the second movie. So just as you would see in the 2-pack. But it also comes with this like cool little comic book, which... Will I read? I don't know. But I just, ultimately it was for this, like just that whole thing. So whatever. I'm crazy, deal with it. It's just cool to have. And then I display it on the spine so you can see Dale's there, best character ever. And then I really can't justify this one. Knuckles Steelbook. I do not like this show at all. It's in that plastic thing, so I'm not going to open it up. But I bought this because I like the Steelbook. In fact, out of everything I own in my entire collection, movies, Star Wars, DC, everything, this is probably the worst thing I own. Like, quality-wise, like how I think of it, it's a 4 out of 10. I don't like this. But I had to have the Steelbook. On the inside, it's got a really cool picture of Sonic and Knuckles together. And then it also has an episode that they did put Sonic and Tails in, which is like a 7 out of 10 episode. So it's not a justification for spending $20 on that, but I did. And then again, because I'm crazy, so the third movie came out just recently, which is why I waited to do this video till now. So they have the third movie Steelbook here. For some reason, they didn't release a Blu-ray of this, just a standard Blu-ray. It's either DVD, 4K, or 4K Steelbook. So I just went 4K Steelbook, and then I own it again. I own it twice because they did release 2 versions of the Steelbook. Getting a little glare there. You can't really help it. That they're really cool. And actually, if you take a look at the back here, they see the print is on blue. It's like a blue print there, and then the shadow one has red. So I appreciate how they made them different enough. But there's nothing different about the movies. There's nothing. It's just 2 different Steelbook cases. And like I said before with the Top Gun Maverick, that used to be the most expensive thing in my collection. It's now this. This was $45, which plus tax and everything is probably like $50. So, did I mention I don't have any more money? So, yeah. I don't regret it at all. I would do it again. I might buy another copy. Just makes no sense. And then I have some other things here. So this is Sonic X, the complete series, Japanese dub version. With all the anime I own down there, this is technically an anime, by the way. They're all the English dub. I would never really go out of my way for a Japanese dub. Only reason I did for this show was because if you know the history behind it, when they eventually did do an English dub for it, 4Kids kind of messed up the whole thing. And they removed scenes, changed dialogue, edited it kind of for kids. So kind of ruined some moments from what I understood. So when I eventually wanted to watch the show, I ended up buying the Japanese dub version. And eventually, if like I can find the English one for like stupid cheap, I'd probably get it just for the collection, watch it once. But honestly, for story wise and to enjoy the show, I would just watch the Japanese one every time. And it's cool. Like the fact that these come with slipcovers is awesome. Like that's what people who are buying this stuff are going to be fans, and that's what fans want, is just include slipcovers every time. And then we have Sonic Prime Season 1 and 2. I did take the plastic off. I haven't watched these yet, actually. I was waiting for 3 to come out so I can just watch the whole show in one go, because it's not very long. These were like $12 a piece. They're not very expensive because the show's not very long. Again, it's cool that they come with slipcovers. I don't like the fact that this one has the little blue Blu-ray thing on the top, and then this one doesn't. I actually like the cleaner cut one without it. But, I mean, at least be consistent. If you're going to do it for both, or not at all. The complete series has been put up for pre-order, which I have, which will come out in June. So it's a Steelbook, just like the Boom one I'm about to show. It comes with Season 1 through 3. Season 3 has not been announced yet individually, so as of now, I will have 1 and 2 on their own, and then 3 is a Steelbook. And I'm not okay with that. Release 3 solo. I will buy it. Okay, so we're going back to Crazy Town here. I watched Sonic Boom originally on Netflix. Thought it was amazing. So for my birthday, I got the Steelbook complete series here, which is probably one of the coolest Steelbooks I own. Probably at the end of this video, I'll tack on a little section of like ranking my top 5 Steelbooks that I have. But this thing is awesome. Like it's cool. I'm even gonna open it up. It's got the sleeve, kind of thing. And then the back looks like that. And then you open it up. The discs, too. So you'll notice that there's no discs in here, and I'll explain that in a second. But it's just one of the cooler Steelbooks I have. Like, just like they did custom artwork for this thing. Look at that. I don't know. Like, why can't everyone do that? But anyway, I watched this show like immediately after I got it on the for the Steelbook. And I realized that the way they do the discs in there, as you saw, there was only 2 slots. That means that their discs were triple stacked. So it comes with 6 discs. It was 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 on each side. And taking them out is a little tough. So because I'm crazy, I decided the solution to that was going to be, I was going to buy Blu-ray cases. I was going to custom make my own artwork for the paper to put in them, and I was going to make my own cases. And it took me a long time, but I did it. So I'll include some footage here of these up close, basically. But I think they turned out pretty good, honestly. Like, not even joking. These took me a long time to figure out how to do. And even then, like, the color kind of came out a little off for some of the images and stuff. But, I mean, considering what I was working with, I think these turned out pretty good. And fun fact, if you even scan that barcode on the back right there, it will take you to the Amazon page to buy the Steelbook, because I took the barcode straight from the Steelbook. But yeah, so, and then I'll show these more in depth, but each case is themed with the disc that's in it. And then also with the Steelbook, it didn't have the episode lists on the inside, or there was no paper that came with it, so I made sure to include all the episodes that were on each disc on the back of the case. But each disc has I'll show you my favorite one right now, the character kind of head on it. So I did that with the Steelbook case. So that was my justification. I took something that took 1 slot on a shelf and I multiplied it by 6 because I don't have an answer. And then to make it even worse, I got the complete series for my brother for Christmas because I thought it was that good and I thought he would like it, and we did watch it and he thought it was that good. So when I bought the season 1 and 2 for him, instead of getting him the Steelbook because I didn't want him to struggle with the discs because it's kind of annoying, they actually sell season 1 and 2 individually, so I got him those. And of course, because I couldn't help myself, I got them for myself as well. It took me forever to get a slipcover for one, which if you were to buy one right now from like Walmart or something, I doubt you would get a slipcover. Two, I think you would. But here they are, and both of which are still wrapped in plastic. I haven't even watched them yet. So the next time I watch the show, I'm going to watch these two versions. So on my shelf, I own Sonic Boom 3 times. Disc-wise, I own it twice. Anyway, we're going to do DC now, which I'll go through as quickly as possible, and then we'll wrap up with anime, and then, yeah. So just like Star Wars and now Sonic, I'm a big DC fan, so I keep all my DC stuff separate, and I have a lot of it. So I'm going to start off with kind of the Arrowverse stuff I have. I own Supergirl 1 and 2, which is a bit of a stretch. These are only like $8, so that's the only reason I bought them. That one's actually missing the case right now because that's a long story. But second one I actually really enjoyed, season 2, so I can justify that. I'll stand by that. I like season 2. Now the one I really like, I'll just do it now. Arrow. So Arrow is probably my favorite live action DC show. I own the complete series on Blu-ray. I don't own the box set. I own each season individually. Starting with season 1, I remember getting this for my birthday a long time ago. And then I got season 2. Interestingly enough, I have seen other seasons eventually that do this, but season 2 is thicker than the other ones. It actually has both Blu-ray and DVD, which the other ones are just all Blu-ray. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, this is my favorite live action show, I think, not counting something like Band of Brothers or Last of Us, which is at this point I just count as a miniseries, but like an actual TV show, it'd be Arrow. Season 4 in particular, I remember when I first got into the show, only 1 through 3 was out at the time. And then 4, it was right after 4 had ended, or it was going on still. So I had to wait for it to be released on Blu-ray before I could watch it. So I pre-ordered the 4th season and watched it that way. Season 5 was the first one I watched live while it aired, and it was one of my favorite seasons. Season 6 I also really like. I think it's probably one of the more underrated ones still when the show is good. Season 7 would probably be my least favorite season out of the whole show. I don't know. I mean, just the cover to me says it all. You know, he doesn't wear the hood anymore. He doesn't wear the mask anymore. He's just kind of out there doing whatever. But still like it enough to own it. And then obviously just for the complete collection. And then finally the last season, which is the shortest one, but still good. So because of the way I collected each season, I don't own it on a box set. It would probably cut my shelf size in half if I owned it in a box set, but nonetheless, that's okay. I own seasons 1 through 3 of Legends, which is a pretty good show. I mean, I like Flash, I like Arrow, so the first bit of Legends I actually really enjoyed too. Season 1 actually has a really cool glossy cover, and I really like how all these Arrowverse things come with like a slip sleeve, or it's not exactly the traditional slip cover. They kind of slide out sideways, kind of like I don't know. It's just cool. I like how they do that. And these things aren't super expensive either. I think you could still get some of the early seasons of all this stuff, and they'll come with the cover, as far as I know. And then I have, like I mentioned, I'm also a fan of Flash, so I have Flash here. I only have 1 through 5, though. Unlike Arrow, I do not want to own the complete series of Flash. And if you know how that show goes, you wouldn't want to own it either, because it's not very good. But I stopped at 5. I do enjoy 1 through 5. I stand by that. I thought maybe, rewatching it, I wouldn't want to own maybe 4 and 5. I could drop those two, but no, I like them, so I'm going to hold on to them. But these are pretty cool. I mean, just this kind of stuff this is what it's all about right here. Like, come on, that's cool. And then, again, they got the other thing. And then, with the exception of 5 here, which is more of a matte, 1 through 4, all those were like really shiny versions. Arrow doesn't really do that. But, cool. So I believe that's all the Arrowverse I own. I don't own any No Batwoman, God no. No Black Adam. What else did they have? Gotham Knights, no. Alright, so moving on from the Arrowverse, I have couple other live-action DC shows. This one was more recent, as of like a year ago. This is for the boys back at the station, Grant in particular. The Smallville box set. This is the biggest thing, probably the most valuable thing in my whole collection. I believe. No, not the most valuable anymore, but it is the biggest. Yeah, 10 seasons. So I'm gonna try not to drop this. It's got this little thing that slides off here. It's such a cool release. When I watched this last year, it looked like this on the shelf because I had the sleeve off and I was going through each season. I'm not going to take them out and go through them individually, but it's really cool. I like how they all match. They all look nice in there, and the colors kind of match, or like they're different colors, but they made them match, if that makes sense. They kept the tone alive. The only thing I'm not crazy about this whole thing, like, don't get me wrong, this is awesome. Like, seeing this and you go through each one, it's like I want to watch season 2 or whatever. You pull it out and got all the stuff, I don't know if I necessarily need Tom Welling staring at me when I'm going to bed, because the way it's set up, it looks directly at me when I'm going to sleep. But I guess better him than many other people, so I'll take it as a compliment. If that makes any sense at all. So that thing's really awesome. And then I also own Gotham here, complete series. So season 1, really, really cool. 2 is also really cool. The whole show, I mean, Arrow would be number 1 for me, and then Gotham would probably be number 2. This, I know some people say it's like pretty generic crime, cop drama stuff, but you know what? I haven't seen a lot of other crime cop drama stuff, so to me, this one's fun and interesting. Again, I own 1 through 5 individually because of the way I was watching it and collecting it at the time. And I think the box set would probably cut down 1 or 2 of those cases, but I'm good with that. And then going into DC Universe Titans verse stuff, we actually have Titans season 1, which I gave it a lot of I don't know what the word for that is. I cut it a break when I first watched it. I still like it technically. This is the best live action Robin we've ever gotten, and that's not saying a lot. He's really good. I don't want to downplay him in particular. There's only one other version to compare him to, is what I'm saying, and that one sucked. So season 2 I actually really like. I will stand by season 2. I will defend season 2, and I will explain why that is actually a really good character for many of them. It's really interesting direction. Sure, Deathstroke was underutilized and whatnot. And then another stupid thing I can't justify. I own season 1 and 2. I just showed you season 1 and 2. I own it again in this 2-pack here, which is cool for a couple reasons. Is one, it would cut down the space on my shelf to just 1 case. It also has an exclusive San Francisco art, because they go to San Francisco in the 2nd season, and like I said, anything kind of Bay Area I am a fan of. The discs are exactly the same as they were in the seasons 1 and 2. The only reason I haven't decided between keeping this or those yet is because the different artworks, and then the first 2 seasons have the slipcovers. So I don't know. I'm probably just going to keep them both separate. Next time I watch the show, I'll watch this version because I haven't seen this specifically yet. And I don't care to own season 3 or 4. I liked parts of 3, so I was this close to owning it, but I ultimately just didn't. It got on sale for pretty cheap, and I ended up passing, so that goes to show how much I really cared to own it. And then 4 was god-awful, so I don't want to own that ever. Real quick, I forgot to mention this about Smallville. If you've never seen the show before, I do recommend you watching it. If you're pretty sure you're gonna like it, like if you like the actors in it, if you heard good things about it or whatever, I would recommend just buying the box set versus trying to watch it on something like Hulu, unless you don't have ads on Hulu, because it's a really long show. the value you get out of that box set. I've seen it consistently for $90. I've seen it as cheap as $72, which is an absolute steal. But already at $90, that's less than $10 a season because there's 10 seasons. Plus, you get the cool looking box set for it. So, it's one of the best, values technically in my whole collection. So, now we're gonna go over some of the animated shows I have, which is what got me into DC ever since the beginning. So. I got this recently, Harley Quinn Season 3. Still in the plastic. Not quite sure when I'm going to watch that, but probably soon. And then I picked this up also fairly recently, Harley Quinn. This is a Season 1 and 2 thing. I think they're on like Season 5 now. And I think I've seen 1 through 4. I haven't seen the Kite Man spinoff yet. I was going to, and I haven't. And then as far as I know, Season 4 has been out for a while, but hasn't been released yet in Blu-ray, which is kind of annoying, because it's like I got Seasons 1 through 3 because they were pretty cheap and I liked the show, but it's going to be annoying, kind of like with Prime back there, if I don't have the complete thing. As a collector, I like to have the complete thing. Beware the Batman season, technically it's only 1 season. This is Volume 1 and 2 of Season 1. Extremely underrated Batman show. Like, I've seen every animated Batman show, with the exception of the brand new one, Cape Crusader. I haven't watched that yet. But based on all the classic ones, they all have a different tone for Batman, including this one. This is the only 3D animated Batman show. And it does this thing, the way that the 3D works, with how they portray Gotham and everything. And it does this tone with Bruce where he's a lot younger. It's like the complete opposite of the Batman, this one right here, which I'll talk about in a minute. It's the complete opposite of the same age, complete opposite character direction. It's just really interesting, and I hear nobody talking about it. Not that I'm in DC circles really, where I would hear someone talk about it, but I think it's definitely underrated. You should watch it. And I bought those at the same time I bought the Thundercats thing, because I just really wanted to watch them, and they weren't too expensive. Same thing. This is Green Lantern animated series, also 3D animated. This and that one we just talked about were the only 3D animated ones. This is even better. What is it? I don't know. In terms of the fact that it's Green Lantern, and traditionally Green Lantern stuff they've put out is not very good, this is the best Green Lantern content they've ever made. And it's up there in terms of DC shows. And then we have Young Justice here, 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is practically a 10 out of 10. It's very, very close to a 10 out of 10 if it's not. One of my most rewatched seasons of a show, this whole show overall. Well, mostly 1 and 2, but mostly Season 1, I've rewatched that so many times. I want to rewatch it again, actually, pretty soon. Season 2, pretty good, not as good. They do some things that were kind of a weird direction. They had a lot going for them in Season 1, the way that the show was set up, and then they kind of aged up the characters just so they could get to other characters, and you missed a lot of fun you could have had with certain characters. And then Season 3 here, which I got this like 4 years ago, this Blu-ray, and I have not watched it yet. Only because I was waiting for 4 to get released on Blu-ray, and they haven't done it yet, and I don't think they ever will at this point. So, yeah. And I need to rewatch this show fairly soon. This is Brave and the Bold here, Batman. I don't have a lot to say on this because I don't remember it. I've watched it 4 years ago. I've seen it before. I just don't remember it. I just thought it was cool. At the time, Blue Beetle and Firestorm, characters like that, were pretty niche, unknown, I guess. Now Blue Beetle has a live-action movie, which is cool, I guess. The movie wasn't great, but, this show did a lot for him. And it's a decent Batman show, kind of lighter tone. Probably the lightest tone Batman show, I think. Legion of Superheroes was a show I was waiting forever to go on streaming because I knew it existed and was waiting to check it out. It's in the same animation style as the Batman-ish, or no, more like Brave and the Bold. It's closer to Brave and the Bold, but it's cool. It covers the Legion of Superheroes. It's an interesting story. I was impressed with how mature it was, and I bought it so I could watch it, and I liked it enough to keep it. And then the Batman. This is probably my favorite Batman show. It's between this or animated series. It's really close, but this one, it's just so cool. Like, that does Batman the best. That's what made me a Batman fan as a kid, was that show. Teen Titans, now, complete series. I used to own this DVD, sold them when I got this, so went from 5 to 1 cases, and this comes with the movie. So the Batman, the one I just showed, did not come with the Dracula movie. This comes with the Trouble in Tokyo movie, which is appreciated. So we have Justice League seasons 1 and 2 separate, and then Justice League Unlimited, which is all awesome. I haven't watched these yet. I got these a couple of years ago, and I haven't watched them yet. I was going to watch them with my brother, but we have a backlog of stuff we're watching, so we'll get to that eventually. Batman Beyond Complete Series. Again, bought this. I hadn't seen the show yet, but I grew up watching the movie. This comes with the movie, and the movie's awesome. It's one of the best DC animated movies ever. So getting this and actually enjoying this show was cool. Terry McGinnis is just an underrated, underutilized character in the whole mythos, I guess. Here is the complete animated series box set thingy. I think I got this for like graduating. I think it must have been high school. I think I got this for graduating high school or something like that. I don't remember. But it was really cool. I remember when this first came out, I was like, I had to have that. I probably need to rewatch it. There are some things I wanted to check up on. It also comes with the New Adventures, if you consider that a separate show. It also includes that. And it comes with 2 movies. It comes with, if I remember correctly, it's Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, and Mask of Phantasm, if I'm not mistaken. And it did not come with Mystery of Batwoman, which it should have. And it also did not come with the Batman Superman movie, which was a bummer. But I used to own the Superman animated series, didn't like it that much, so I ended up returning it. But that one did include the Batman Superman movie. However, I've come to learn that the Batman Superman movie is actually 3 episodes that used to air in the Superman animated series, which is why I was including that. But it was included as 3 episodes, so that was kind of a bummer. I was hoping for a Blu-ray version of that movie kind of in one cut, but they don't have it as far as I know. Going back to the last 2 live action shows I own, I have Peacemaker Season 1, which I enjoy, and then Swamp Thing. I don't like this show. This is kind of the Knuckles of DC here. I bought this because there is a running joke in this show. Avery Sunderland, the character, where every time he messes up or like he gets caught, like he's a terrible villain. Like he's one of the most incompetent villains you've ever seen. He gets caught all the time by like some clowns, and he's just like, after everything I've done for this town, this is how you repay me. And like, what have you done for this town? You've done nothing. And he's acting like he like built a children's hospital, like invested billions in stuff. He'd done nothing. Anyway, it's hilarious. This was pretty cheap, so I just picked it up just so I could laugh at it every once in a while. I feel like everyone's got something like that in their collection, just something. It's like I can put that in and laugh at it. I do not own the Quest for Peace yet, but I want to get the Superman 4K box set, and that would be something that I laugh at. So I actually do like the first episode of this show. I thought Abby and Alec had good chemistry. Unfortunately, they turn Alec obviously into Swamp Thing, which kind of ruins it for me. Ironic. All right, I changed up the lighting a little bit just because it's getting pretty hot in here, so hopefully it still comes off well. We're getting into some animated movies now. We have Mask of the Phantasm 4K. Does not come with the Blu-ray, just so you know. I did not know that when I bought it. Anniversary Edition 4K. It's a really good looking release. Like I said with the animated series box collection thing, it already included Mask of the Phantasm. So that is me buying it a second time. I got a good deal on it for Black Friday. Plus, it has a Kevin Conroy tribute in the special features, which I really appreciated when I was watching that. And we're going to go backwards here. I kind of like how I organize my movies alphabetically. I organize my DC shelf chronologically in release order. First by Arrowverse, then other live action shows, then animated shows. Now we're into animated movies, and then we'll get to live action movies, and then like DCEU Snyderverse stuff. So recent releases to stuff. So this is the DC, or the Tomorrowverse. They called this the Tomorrowverse. Ended just last year with the Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy, which I thought was underwhelming. Part 1 was my favorite. Part 2 really disappointed me. It brought back forget the actor's name, but Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond, and they gave him nothing to do. It's like there was like 4 Robins and all this stuff. It was like the whole Bat family finally in a movie, and they did nothing with it. And then part 3 was slightly better, but still kind of disappointing. I haven't watched my Blu-rays of these yet. I was waiting to get all 3. Now I have. At least they'll look nice on the shelf with matching slipcovers. Legion of Superheroes, I think, is actually an underrated one from the Tomorrowverse. It's pretty lowly rated, and I don't really see why. I thought Brainy was a good character. Supergirl wasn't annoying. The story was actually kind of interesting. The villain's kind of lame, but overall, 75% of this movie, for the most part, is pretty solid. So I enjoyed that. But the good thing is when movies like that come out and no one likes them, that means they're cheaper for me. And I get a slipcover with them, and they're not that expensive. Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. Again, I think I paid like $7 a piece for these at the time. I got them both. And I know since then they've have the deluxe edition. But that would be saving one slot, basically. And I don't know. I kind of appreciate how they kind of go together like that, they're supposed to match on the thing. I don't know, whatever. Justice Society World War II, kind of like Legion of Superheroes. I think this is a little underrated. I got this on like Mercari or something because it came with a box set. I'll grab it. I'll show the box later. It's like a collector's box that's supposed to come with like a statue or whatever that I didn't necessarily care for, but it was cheap and I thought it'd be a cool collector's thing. And then it's also 4K. It's just cool. I like how they're always shiny like that. Not a bad movie. If that counts as a Wonder Woman movie, it's one of the better ones. This one kind of bummed me out because I ordered this and it didn't come with a slipcover. So this is the only Tomorrowverse one I don't have a slipcover for, which if I ever get a chance, I will upgrade. But this is not a bad Superman movie. There's definitely better out there. My favorite part about this is actually probably how they portrayed Lex Luthor, how he's kind of helping Superman take out Parasite. Parasite. Okay, and then going from Tomorrowverse backwards into the DC AMU, this stuff with the Damian Wayne and John Constantine, that whole thing. God, Apocalypse War was the best one, I think. I think it was my favorite from the whole thing. Really strong ending, really dark, like Justice League dark. Yeah, I would say so. That movie is insane, but it's really good. And then they kind of tie it back together with Crisis on Infinite Earths. Not to really spoil it, but if you wanted to know. Batman Hush here. I remember I bought this at Target. I saw it and it was new at the time. I probably paid too much for it. I think it was maybe $15. I don't think I went overboard, but it was probably more than I needed to spend on it. I really like it though. It's a good one. I didn't know a whole lot about the Hush character, so for me, the introduction to a lot of comic book villains and characters, stuff like that, comes from these shows. So this is how I get it. Reign of Superman, I got this one fairly recently, kind of just filling out my collection of AMU. I picked this one up a couple Black Fridays ago. Death of Superman 4K slipcover. This was a nice find for $10 to $12. Not bad. Teen Titans Judas Contract, another pretty good Teen Titans movie. That one's a little wacky, but so are all these other ones. Justice League Dark, I actually had a Blu-ray of this, but the case was broken, so I found this for fairly cheap and I upgraded. Justice League versus Teen Titans. This is one of the first ones I actually got before I started watching like the whole series or whatever, just because I was a huge Teen Titans fan and obviously Batman, Justice League, whatever. So this was kind of like a movie made for me, but really good. I think. No, not this one. It's a different one. But I don't know. I enjoy this one too. Really cool Raven moments, and then I really like what they do with the Damien character. That's just one of the better ones. Batman Bad Blood also really. I give bonus points for that one, with the exception of Nightwing. Nightwing is the stupidest character ever. Don't ever do that again. There's enough people in the Bat family. We don't need Nightwing. What's his name? Luke Garbage. Get him out of here. I don't remember. Just don't. Batman vs. Robin. This is another one I have, like a box set came with. Really cool, fun movie. Not amazing, but it's kind of cool. You get to see Talon and stuff. Throne of Atlantis. Probably my least favorite that I own. There's other ones that are worse that I don't even own, but this one is not bad. What's really distracting is Anakin Skywalker's voice actor from Clone Wars is the voice actor for Aquaman here. And I do not hear Aquaman. I hear Anakin Skywalker, and he's swimming around with fishes, and it's just kind of distracting. Double feature here, Son of Batman and Batman Under the Red Hood. I really like Son of Batman, and Under the Red Hood is top 3 greatest animated DC movies of all time. So if you've never seen Under the Red Hood, get on that one. And then I think Son of Batman it's not the first. You could technically start there, but it's one of the earlier ones. Justice League War I see as the first part of the AMU, which is to me it's pretty forgettable. I really don't remember what happens in a lot of this. Obviously they fight Darkseid and whatnot, but I just don't remember it. So it's always fun rewatching the AMU, starting with that one. It's like, oh, I forgot about all that. And then this also a top 5, I believe, DC animated movie, Flashpoint Paradox. Definitely check this one out. People say this is the first one that kickstarts the AMU, just to make people, I don't know. I mean, I guess technically, whatever. I don't see it. I see it as a standalone Flash thing, but do what you want. I was gonna say we're getting close to the end, but no. We there's still the anime down there, dude. I told you this is gonna be a long video, but it has to be done, and I'm telling you, it's just gonna be better off doing it all in one go. So this is the Dark Knight Returns Deluxe Edition. This includes part 1 and 2, which combined is about 2 hours and 30 minutes. I need to rewatch these. I'm about to rewatch these. I bought this not too long ago. Haven't watched this copy yet. When I first watched them, I actually didn't care for them too much. I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Knight Returns storyline. I don't like Carrie Kelly as Robin, and the whole, what are they, the mutants, or the gang of whatever, those wackos in the future Gotham. I just don't care. But what I will say is the Superman versus Batman thing in the end is kind of cool, and then the fact that he recruits Green Arrow to help him out is a nice bit of, taking a character that's definitely underappreciated and doing something with it. So I'll be rewatching this soon, and my guess is I'll probably like it a little bit more. Getting into a little bit of live action here, we have Constantine, which I think at the time this was not considered a DC movie, but since then they brought him in to the DC universe, so I count him as that. Decent movie. I've only seen it once, need to watch it again. I have recently upgraded. I used to have the Blu-ray collection of the first 4 Batman movies, the Burton and the Schumacher. I have since upgraded to the 4K, so I got a nice box set here. I'm currently watching these. I've seen the first one. I gotta watch Returns next. I don't like Batman and Robin. As of the last time I watched it, I liked Forever. I'll stand by that. Adam West, Batman the movie. I have not seen the show yet, and I need to watch the show. I've seen the show on sale a lot. Haven't bought it yet, just in case I don't like it too much. Didn't buy it, but I do like the movie. The movie's classic. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Awesome. Battle of the Super Sons. Kind of, I feel like this went under the radar for a lot of people a couple years ago. I really enjoyed it. Just getting to see Damian and Jonathan, I guess. team up and do some stuff. I really need to rewatch this movie. I watched it when I first bought it, Black Friday, 3 years ago. Haven't watched it since. I've been meaning to rewatch it, so probably get to that soon. League of Super Pets. I haven't watched my version of this either. I actually really enjoyed this. It's not great, but I don't know. It's entertaining. It's got some funny stuff in there. I think the problem, some people thought it was really dumb and stupid kids movie. And sure, it's probably a stupid kids movie. But, I mean, it's also supposed to be a dumb kids movie. That's okay to make dumb kids movies. I don't know. Just have a laugh every once in a while. Not everything needs to be Man of Steel. Injustice. This one was not favored well when this came out. Some people thought it was too rushed. I don't necessarily disagree, but for someone who hasn't played the games, I just thought this was an interesting story and not a bad adaptation for a film. Plus, it's always a plus getting a nice slipcover like that. Boosted my rating a little bit. Superman Red Son, I got this fairly recently. Cool little like what if story there. Surprisingly, the only animated DC Steelbook that I own, Justice League vs. the Fatal 5 Steelbook. Honestly, this is not one of my favorite DC movies. It's not that great, but Steelbook's not bad. And it was a gift, so can't complain too much. What really surprised me was Batman vs. the Ninja Turtles. I don't remember. I think I bought this and then watched it because it wasn't streaming anywhere. So my only option was to buy it. But this was like shockingly good, like 8 out of 10, shockingly good. I expected nothing from this and I got everything, so I would recommend that for sure. I'm not a Ninja Turtles fan whatsoever. Kind of going back to Arrowverse here for a minute. We have the Vixen animated movie, which is really cool because you had Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin actually voicing the Green Arrow and Flash in this one, and then the Freedom Fighters Ray, which is a little less, not as good. They didn't come back and voice the characters for that, but it's still not bad. Cool that they both came with slipcovers, and then these used to be up top on my shelf with the rest of the Arrowverse, but since I got Supergirl, I bumped these down to just with the animated movies. But I rewatched Vixen very recently, and I thought it was actually pretty good. So I've seen it a few times. Batman Assault on Arkham. I remember buying this in Hawaii, like probably a decade ago now. When I first got there, we went to Costco. They had a bin of movies. As you can see, it was $8. This one's pretty good. Kevin Conroy, I believe, as Batman, so that's always a plus. Justice League Doom. I think this is another top 5 animated movie. Definitely check this out. Really cool storyline. Really fun. I don't know. It's just cool. This is just a really cool concept. I got this last year or 2 years ago. All-Star Superman 4K anniversary, whatever the heck. One of the more expensive ones I bought, but it is one of the nicer ones that it's all shiny and all that. So pretty cool there. I like that one. That one's better than the Man of Tomorrow one. Crisis on 2 Earths. I just got this, and I watched it, and it's not bad. Definitely an enjoyable DC thing. That's what most of these are. That's why I like them so much. You just pop them in. You get to hang out with the Justice League for an hour and a half. This I got last year, I think. It's Public Enemies and then Superman and Batman Apocalypse, like the Batman Superman team up 2-pack. I originally didn't like Public Enemies, particularly how they dealt with Lex Luthor, and I still don't like how they handled Lex Luthor in that movie, but I think the movie overall is better. Was better the second time around. I bumped it up a point. I will admit that was probably because now first time I saw it, Kevin Conroy was still around. Second time I saw it, he was no longer around, so he voices Batman in both of these, so that was probably a bonus. And then Apocalypse also, I already liked it before, but I bumped it up another point because I thought it was particularly well done. Justice League: The New Frontier is an odd animated movie, but it's definitely not bad. I think it was fairly cheap. I don't know. You can get most of the stuff for like $7 or whatever. So, but yeah, you add it all up. Ugh. And then lastly, Mystery of the Batwoman is another one this is one I think should have been included in the animated series because it's it's a part of the New Adventures storyline. Got the Tim Drake and all that, but good movie. This is I don't want to say underrated again, but it's one that not a lot of people know about, I feel like. And I got this one fairly cheap. It was like $5 or $6. So, okay, we'll wrap it up, the DC section, with some final pieces here. So, like I was talking about, the Batman and Robin came in a box set with the Batman figure there. I didn't go out of my way to get the figures or anything, but it just so happened to come with it. That one in particular was a gift. One of the few exceptions I have on the DVD rule, here's the Batman Superman movie. I grew up with this. Very disappointed that they do not have this in Blu-ray yet. But like I said, they kind of wrote it off as, oh, it's just 3 episodes in the Superman one. No, it's not. Also a bummer is this. I bought this last year because it came with the Batman versus Dracula movie. It also includes the Batman and Superman movie too. Not 2, also. And that one's a bummer because it's full screen, not widescreen. It hasn't been updated to be widescreen yet, which is really a bummer. And then here's that box set for Justice Society World War II. This one's a bit beat up. Comes with Flash Dude, but I just hold on to that because why not? We're going to jump around a little bit. I have 2 limited edition collectors books for some not so great Snyder movies or DCEU movies. First is the Aquaman book. It's got a holographic cover, you can see there. It's actually pretty cool. I really like Black Manta as a character, so getting that is cool. And then, see, this is what I would consider a media book. Like I've been talking about this whole time. It looks like a book. It's got a spine like a book. It's got actual pages in here, you know. I don't know if you can see that, some artwork and stuff, and then the movies and whatnot. But it's cool. I mean, I'm not crazy about this movie. I like it. Obviously, I own it. That was also a gift, so it's not like I spent $50 on a thing. And then I have the same thing more or less for Justice League here. I don't know what I like more, Justice League or Aquaman. I'd have to look at my ranking, but again, media book. This one's probably a bit cooler because it's got some Justice League concept in there. But what's a bummer about these 2 in particular is they don't really fit on my shelf with everything else, so they have to kind of sit on their own shelf. I'll be rolling footage that you'll have seen where they're kind of just off on their own. Okay, going backwards on a couple of there's Lego DC like kind of short films. Family Matters is more recent. I watched this because it was like another Bat Family movie, and it's actually pretty good. It does justice to a lot of the characters. It's got Red Hood. There's like 2 or 3 Robins. I don't remember. I think there was Tim Grayson. Well, Tim Grayson and then Jason Todd. So I guess no Damian. I think it's Tim, not Damian, if I remember correctly. But it's pretty good, actually. Like I'm like shockingly good. Like sure, there's a little bit of a scale just because it's a Lego Kids thing, but it's actually good. Same thing with Rage of Atlantis. Probably not as good, but it's kind of funny. Like there's a scene where Aquaman's like at a bar complaining about his marriage or something. It's stuff like that is funny. This might be a controversial placement. I put the Lego Batman movie with DC instead of the other Lego stuff. I don't know. That's just me. But this is also really solid. That one, again, kind of like not as severe as Ninjago, but that one kind of loses me in the second half. It's like really strong Batman stuff in the first half, and then they kind of go into like, let's fight the tower from Lord of the Rings and the agents from Matrix and stuff. I don't know. It's like it turns into a Warner Brothers thing rather than a Batman thing. Justice League Gotham City Breakout. I feel like I watched this not too long ago, and I can't even remember a single thing about it. So I already owned that previously, so that's why that's here. The Flash. I bought this 2 years ago on Black Friday, and I still haven't watched it. I watched it twice in theaters. I actually think it's pretty good. I'm a little bit mixed on it. I do think it's good overall, but I'm a little mixed on it because the reasons I like it is more so for the Batman parts, not so much the Flash parts. So it's take from that as you will. Shazam 2, not better than the first one at all, but it's enjoyable enough for me that I owned it. I got a good deal on it, and it's not terrible. I'll put it that way. I like Black Adam. Can I just say that? I like Black Adam. I don't care. I know it's dumb. I know it's stupid. It's got Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, and Dr. Fate is awesome. And Pierce Brosnan's awesome. Can I just like Black Adam, please? Can I just say that? I don't know. I get bashed for that all the time. I don't care. The Suicide Squad, good movie, nice slipcover. Got a good deal on that one at the time. Just watched this one finally. I bought this like 3 years ago and I barely just watched it. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's 4 hours. If you like 4 hours of Zack Snyder, here you go. I honestly, it's fine. It's good. I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just so darn long. I own this for the collection. Do I care that it's not 4K? No. The first Shazam, I actually really like this one. It took me a while to actually watch this for the first time. And when I did, I was surprised at how much I liked it. And since then, I've actually gone and watched Chuck, the show that Zachary Levi kind of got started on. And I thought he was really good in that too. So I know he's had some things going on recently, but, you know, guys can be funny, I guess. Wonder Woman, good movie, good Chris Pine, bad villain. Suicide Squad, why is this so thick? What happened here? Oh, I think I just swapped the case out. I don't know what happened. Justice League, or God, Suicide Squad, I don't think this is a bad movie. I don't like it that much, but I liked it enough to own it for my collection. So here it is. I like something like this more than Blue Beetle or Aquaman 2 that came out in 23, I think. So I'm not ashamed of that. Some new additions here. I used to own just a standard Blu-ray of Batman v Superman, but there was recently a deal where I upgraded for like $11. Batman v Superman Steelbook. Still just a Blu-ray, but it's cool. So that's nice. It's got like a reversible, depending on which side you show, it's either the Batman or the Superman side. And then I also did this. I thought this was ironically fitting, the Man of Steel Steelbook. I also really like Man of Steel. Have problems with it, especially in the third act. But I mean, it starts off really strong. The first half of the movie is like really strong. But I really like it, and it's cool to have a Steelbook. So those two I upgraded because I like those. So that's the whole DC EU. And then we have The Batman, which I haven't watched this copy. I got this one like 3 years ago or something. But every time we've watched it since, we've been some for some reason, one or another, I just haven't watched my version of it. So I need to watch this soon. I was gonna watch this when we watched Penguin, but I guess Penguin's on. Oh, Penguin's been released on Blu-ray now, so when I get that, I'll watch this and then I'll watch Penguin, because the second movie is still like 5 years out or whatever. They have no idea what they're doing. Joker, which I am not. I think this is a bit overrated. I think it's good. I would recommend it, but I do think it's a bit overrated. But I like it enough to own it. It's an interesting take on Joker. The second one absolutely ruins it. I just pretend that doesn't exist. That never happened. Double feature of Watchmen. I count Watchmen as DC. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but whatever. I haven't seen the show yet. I need to. And then Green Lantern. I will stand by this. Green Lantern is not bad. And that's because of Ryan Reynolds. So, does that mean the movie's actually bad just because one guy in it's good? Probably. But that doesn't make it any less enjoyable for me to watch. I will stand by that. And then lastly, for DC, Dark Knight trilogy. So the only thing I'm really missing out of the collection is the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, which I've just been waiting for a good sale on them. I didn't want to get the Blu-rays. I want to get the 4K box set to do him justice, because I watched the documentary of him, and he's a really, really cool story there. But here's the Christian Bale Blu-ray thing. This was like $20 or whatever, so... and you can consistently find this for like 15, I think. So go for that. Really cool box set. It's just a regular case on the inside there. So it's got some cards in there. So this is the only Nolan that gets shoved with DC. So there you have it. There's all the DC stuff, and let's get to the last of it. And you've probably had to make like 5 bags of popcorn by now. So just like my movies, the anime has been sorted alphabetically, but it's kind of mixed in movies and shows. So it's just kind of all anime all together. So let's go through this as quickly as possible. In another world with my smartphone. The only thing I'll say about this is I tried to get this a couple years ago, and it the first disc would freeze on the second episode. It wouldn't play, and so I kind of just avoided it for a while. Last Black Friday, I saw there was a review on the Crunchyroll store that someone said that this actually works now, and I got it, and it did work. So PSA, if you live in the US, I'm in California. I think they all ship from the same place, but I would get it if you were looking for it from Crunchyroll. I don't know about the Amazon. Can't speak about that. How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. This is cool. This was a cool show. I wasn't huge on it the first time. Then I rewatched it and I liked it. Part 1 and 2. What this show ultimately does when I watch it is it makes me want to play Minecraft. It's like this guy comes in and he takes over the kingdom, and then he kind of like he's building a port town. He's building roads to the town. He's like improving the system and all this stuff. It's just these are the kinds of stories you get with anime, and it's really fun. And it's just I don't know, it's inspiring. I've watched it and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of want to go play Minecraft now. But so I was. That was actually my plan. I was gonna watch this again pretty soon, and then hopefully that would trigger some inspiration for Minecraft. We'll get to it later, but I bought this when I bought Toradora, I believe, and because I needed some extra money to get free shipping, or add extra value. This was on sale. I heard it was good. It's like a mystery type of thing, and I actually really liked it. I've only seen it once. I'm going to rewatch it again soon, but Go Sick is good, and a very, very good intro song. The Garden of Words. This is the guy who did Your Name, Weathering with You, Suzume, all that stuff. He did this before those. It's a shorter film at like 46 minutes. Really, obviously all of his stuff is beautiful to look at, but the water in this one in particular, he mixes it with like the lush greens of like obviously a garden, and then the story between the two characters is also just really interesting to watch. So not exactly the best investment. This was like $10 or whatever for 46 minutes, but I mean, if you can find a place to watch this separately, I would do that. Gamers is one I was not super big on when I first watched it, but I rewatched it and I ended up liking it more. I think I've noticed that with a few of these shows now, kind of going through it once just to get a feel for what it's actually about, and then doing it again to appreciate it more. But I ended up buying this on eBay, kind of a long story, but they weren't selling it anymore on Amazon. Like, it went out of stock and I was worried it was gone, so I had to track it down. We got a few Dragon Ball Z here. So this is the Super Broly movie, the Walmart exclusive holographic cover. I don't know what's moving there. Oh, Broly, I guess. Whatever. It's pretty cool. Good movie. You know by now what you get with Dragon Ball Z movies. Resurrection F, also cool slipcover, and Battle of Gods, cool slipcover. Grew up more or less kind of latter end, whatever you call that, of childhood, but grew up with Dragon Ball Z. So those movies being more, those were more like my movies. The Battle of Gods and the Resurrection F, like that's when I was getting into it. They were new at the time. Fusion Reborn and Wrath of the Dragon 2-pack. These are both really good movies. I got that one last year, I believe. Those don't come on sale a lot. I used to see them on sale, and then ever since I started to buy them, they're just like not on sale anymore. Broly triple feature. I've had this for years. The first Broly is good. The other two are not. So do with that as you will. Classroom of the Elite, we got 1 and 2 here. Season 1's good. Like it's like a 7.5 maybe. Like it sets up a really interesting show. But season 2 elevates the show immensely. It's like a 9 out of 10. Like it took it from a pretty good, anime to like, I think I have it top 5 now of everything I've seen. But just a really solid show. Interesting protagonist. Interesting dynamics. It does that thing where it's like, he's playing the whole class and he's trying to cheat the system to become number 1 type deal. Chivalry of a Failed Knight this is one I watched on Hulu that I really liked, and so I went out of my way to find this on eBay, and then a couple years later it was way cheaper and readily available on Sentai, so probably should have waited, but I like to watch this probably like once a year now. Like I just put this in. It's a quick 12 episodes. Boom. Pretty good. I think that one's a underrated one. There's that word again. Chidori RSC, whatever. I got this last Black Friday on a big order of Sentai. They had like a bunch of stuff for super cheap. This was like $12 maybe $12, which is insanely cheap for anime. But I had never seen this show. I bought a bunch of shows I hadn't seen before just to try them out. This is one that I liked. I always appreciate ones like this where there's a group of friends or whatever, and they do they're like in a club or they share a hobby, and they kind of they get to share that with each other. And even though it's not the same hobby that I am into, or I can't exactly relate one to one, I can relate to having hobbies like that, even collecting movies or whatever. Just having an appreciation for things like that. It doesn't have to be one to one. It can be transferable skills, I would call it. Bottom tier character Tomozaki, I got this recently too. I'm hoping season 2 comes out soon. I'm waiting to watch this so I can just watch it back to back with 1 and 2. But as of now, I don't think it's been announced yet. It's out, but it's not. It's out on streaming. It's not out on physical yet. But that's also a good show. That's another one like Classroom, where I would say season 1 was good, but season 2 just elevates it. Like it just takes it over. Bloom Into You was another Sentai one that I hadn't seen before. This one was probably my favorite out of the whole batch that I got. This one's really, really good. Excellent character work, and the way I don't know. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a combination of fall and spring, where it's like the colors are fall, but it feels like spring. I don't even know how that sounds, but whatever. I just got this. It's the Bell Steelbook. I think this is a musical. I don't know. It's cool though. I liked it. Good music. That's why I want to call it musical, because I had good music in it. It's like a cross between a 2D and a 3D anime thing. So I just thought it was interesting. Girl Online. This one's pretty funny. This is it. I don't know. This is the type of thing where you look at it and it's like, that looks like the most generic, bland, whatever. And then you watch it and it's like, okay, that's pretty funny. So this is the kind of stuff I appreciate, is when it's like on paper that's, unoriginal, but then you do something with it that makes it stand out. After School Dice Club, kind of like the Chidori one I talked about. This is another one where they have like a hobby. This one had a little more to it because the main character, struggles with having friends and all that stuff. So having something that kind of connects her to this group, and then they're gonna graduate soon, so she's worried about losing them and all this stuff. There's just more depth to it, but it's kind of the same deal. Silent Voice, the movie, probably top 5 anime movies. This one's like amazing. That one scene at the window, what I'm talking about, that's just like, oh my god. But the whole idea here, and the artistic delivery of how the main character sees other people and kind of goes about talking to them, is something you can't do in live action, and it's something that's exclusive to probably just anime now. And then the first thing I have alphabetically is Absolute Duo, which is, I also threw that in. That might have been the Toradora one. I got that one because it was cheap and I needed money, hit the free shipping goal. So that one's not bad, but there's I would say it's pretty similar to something like Chivalry of a Failed Knight, which I think is better. One thing I said I wasn't going to do, not to you but to myself, was that I wasn't going to explain or say something for each thing, which I'm pretty sure I ended up doing anyway. So I hope that's either okay, or I'm going to probably end up cutting some of the ones that are less interesting. But Snow White with the red hair, very good romance anime. Shikimori got this one last year. It's pretty good, pretty tame. I've actually heard some people call this too wholesome. Like it is just straight wholesome. So I would probably agree with that. It's a little, I think it needed some spice, I guess you could say. Science fell in love, so I tried to prove it. I actually have not seen this yet. It's still wrapped in the plastic, so I can't really speak on that. What I do know is I guess there's 2 seasons of that, and that's only season 1, and season 2 does not exist in Blu-ray, so we'll see what happens there. Saving 80,000 Gold is a very... Here, I'm going to say it again, underrated anime, isekai, actually. It does something different. Like, she just kind of like how Classroom, he's playing the game and trying to, beat the world. It's kind of the same thing here, but as an isekai. I thought it was really fun. That was one of my favorites from 22, I believe that came out. 22 or 23. Saga of Tanya the Evil, pretty original one, very good. Kind of like a World War... It's an alternate universe World War 1/2-esque thing. Recovery of an MMO junkie, a lot like Gamers. I had to track this down on eBay because it was not showing up on Amazon anymore. That's another fun one. I have the whole quintessential quintuplets show. So it's 1, 2, and then the movie. I really enjoy the show, and then the movie I didn't remember being so long. It's like almost 3 hours. How long? 136 minutes. Okay, so that's just over 2 hours. Not almost 3 hours, but it's over 2 hours, which is long for an anime movie. But the show's really fun. It's good at romance. It's good at comedy, and it's good at it's got a guessing game basically of either, obviously there's the 5 sisters and you're wondering which one he's going to end up with. So I think the movies in particular plays that very well, but it's just a fun, entertaining story to follow. Parallel World Pharmacy, I got this recently. I just finished watching it the other day. Also kind of an underrated one, and it's just, that one cracks me up every time. It's just it's an out there concept, but they do it well, so it works. No Game, No Life. This comes with the movie as well, if you manage to get this complete collection. Very interesting colors, I can say about that one. Movie is definitely not as good to me as the show is. I think that's because they follow 2 different characters, but the show's a lot of fun. New Game. This one is really surprising to me. This is like it's pretty wholesome, it's pretty tame, but it's just so interesting. Like watching these characters kind of go through and develop a game. It's like, I don't know. I just find that whole scene fascinating, I guess. Another one I got from Sentai that I haven't opened yet is Next Life as a Villainess. I watched that a long time ago. Don't really remember, but I remember liking it, so that's why I got it. Dress Up Darling. This is, I was talking about the whole hobby thing, appreciating hobbies and kind of respecting that, having an appreciation for that. This one does it better than all the other ones. This is the hobby anime, I would say. Oof. Okay, we'll go back to that one. Konosuba 1 and 2 Steelbooks. This was an impulse at the beginning of last year. I think so, because I'm broke. These are awesome. This is the first time I got like a steelbook with this kind of plastic slipcover over it, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. This show is hilarious. The show is really fun to watch. When season 3 comes out, I hope it includes a steelbook just like this, just so they all match. Those used to be the best looking things, some of the best looking things in my collection, but we'll get to something in a minute. I have the Konosuba prequel, which is not as good as the main show, but Megumin is the best character, and it's fun enough. It kind of lags, I guess, a bit at the end, but it's okay. Kiki's Delivery Service, I have a few Ghibli. This is one of my favorites. It's between that and Whisper of the Heart. Jose, the Tiger and the Fish. God dang it, this thing was expensive, but this movie it's good. I'll give it that. I think this comes with a soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it straight up includes a CD. Yeah. For those of you who've never seen a CD before, it is called it's called a compact disc. So yeah. Oh, it's broken. I didn't realize the case was broken. That was $20. Ooh, well. And then we have, I showed Smartphone. I have Smartphone Season 2 here, which I got a fairly good deal on recently. I got like 3 recent shows from Target for under $30 a piece. And they all came with slipcovers in like mint condition. So that was pretty good. That was one of the best hauls I've gotten for anime anyway. I think this is the end of it, so congratulations. Couple more DVDs that break the DVD rule. However, I owned these before I started collecting Blu-rays, so I can give it a little pass there. GT complete series. I watched like half of it when I first bought it, and I never watched the second half. It's so hot in here. I'm losing my mind. Dragon Ball, also DVDs complete 1 through 5. Pretty bulky. They sit down there, as you saw. I think season 3 or 4 had a disc that got frozen, so I never actually watched the whole thing. I know the whole story. I've seen it all the way through at one point, but I need to rewatch this as well. I don't know why this doesn't exist in Blu-ray yet. This doesn't make any sense. GT makes sense to me. Is this still sealed? Oh my god, wait a minute. Oh. Here's your proof I haven't watched 5. It's still sealed. I didn't even realize that. So I guess it was 4 that had the problem. I might have to try that out at some point and see if I can get it to work. A couple other shows I had, Place to Place and Assassin's Pride. Both of these were in that Sentai order I was talking about. I didn't like these as much, so I'm probably going to end up selling these. They're not bad. I didn't dislike them, but like as you can see, it's kind of full down there, so it's like I'd rather save room for something that I really like. But the Assassin's Pride is pretty cool. It's a steelbook again with the slipcover, so that's gonna be a hard one to pass. So I'm gonna watch this one more time to make sure I don't really want to hold on to it. Your Name, excellent movie. Everyone knows this one, and it is good. We'll talk about it in a second. Whisper of the Heart, again, either first or second favorite Ghibli. Really good. That was really nice. I like how all the Ghibli come with a slipcover. For the most part, most anime come with slipcovers. When Marnie Was There, another top Ghibli for me. I don't own a lot. Comparatively to the library of Ghibli, I don't own a whole lot of Ghibli. But I do like most Ghibli. Weathering With You, I actually like this more than Your Name, which is my hot take of anime for the day. I don't know. I like the setting, I guess, more. The atmosphere. Trinity 7, if you know, you know. That one's, wow. Oh, here we go. Toradora. Oh my god. I'm gonna watch this soon, again. This show's amazing. Just watch it. Just watch Toradora. I'm glad I bought these at the time. I haven't checked recently, but there was a rumor that they were gonna stop producing those. So, yeah. Taku no Mi was another one I got with the Sentai order. These are like really shorter episodes. They're like 12 to 16 minutes or something like that. This show is literally just a group of friends at an apartment drinking alcohol and trying different alcoholic drinks. That's all there is to this show, and it's awesome. So, yeah. But that's what I like about anime. You take something like so stupid sounding like that as a concept, and it somehow works, and it's entertaining to watch. All right, here's the big one. This is the reason I cannot afford to go outside anymore. Sword Art Online Season 1 box set. There is no other option to owning this show. It's the box set or you don't own it. This was, for me, I think it was $120. This right here. I'm holding $120. This cost me $120. To justify it, first of all, it's a box set, so that probably means nothing to most of you. The cases are cool. I guess I can show them. But it's got 25 episodes than the normal 12 that typical anime include. So, and this is one of my favorite shows of all time. I've watched this show so many times. I watched it at least once a year. So, in terms of getting my viewership worth out of it, that will be unquestionable. So, I will be doing that. But God, that was a lot. So, that's, yeah. I thought that was bad. Here it comes, season 2 box set. $125, I believe. So if you're keeping score at home, or include tax and all that, we're over $250. Again, season 2. I rewatched this a lot. The artwork on the cases isn't as cool, but I just watched the show again recently because obviously I bought the box set, so I watched the box set. But I mean, it'll pay for itself, I promise you. To make it one step worse, here's the movie. This was $30. Yeah. So I must live with the. This movie is awesome. I'm just gonna say that this movie is awesome. It's just great. The show is great. I love the show. I cannot go out anymore. So, Suzume, same guy who made Your Name, Weathering with You, all that. Haven't watched this yet. I just got it recently, but cool. Add to the collection. Spy X Family, season 1, part 1 and 2. Really enjoyed this. This is one of those shows that got me into anime a couple years ago. This and Kaguya, which I wish I had Kaguya right now, but unfortunately Aniplex sucks. So I think it's Aniplex. But these are cool. Good show. Really fun to have. And fittingly very lastly, Spirited Away. So that is it. That is my collection. So I was going to do a top 5 Steelbooks. I guess off the top of my head, the Sonic Boom one would be one. Top Gun Maverick. Rogue One would be one. And then I the Jaws one's really cool. I guess I'd say Jaws. And then maybe the Better Off Dead, just because the fact that it exists. The fact that a Better Off Dead Steelbook exists. That throws it up there. So that's it. You made it. Yeah, it's long, I know, but it's complete, and I might never do this again. If I do this again, it'll be in like 5 years or something like that. So I wanted to do this. It'll be out there. I'll make it a masterpiece, so it'll live on for a while. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of it, like you heard about something, like a movie that you've heard about before, but now you're more inspired to go check it out. Or maybe you're into anime and I pointed something out that you weren't as familiar with, or something, anything. Or you're going to check out a DC show, or this inspires you to start your own collection, then you can make a 3-hour long video. But that's going to be it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.